All right, guys. Hello. Why am I previewing myself?
Hello,
What the fuck is this?
everybody.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, welcome to Side Chat.
Let's get some mic checks in here, girls.
Mic check 1 2 1 2. How's our audio, guys? How's our audio?
Mic check one,
Mic
two.
check. Mic check 3 4 5 6.
Yeah, let's get some audio checks in here.
Yeah, me and Mimi are a bit low.
I think I'm a bit
Hello,
low.
everyone.
All right, I'm
myself
boosting
up.
you guys up. Nurse on production. All right, how's the background music as well?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Okay, good. Background music is level. You guys are loud
That's a
enough?
bit loud. This is always loud.
I can lower myself. All right. Let me know. Am I okay? Am I good? Welcome to the pilot episode, y'all.
Yes,
Yeah, welcome to the
pilot.
first one.
Yeah. Exactly.
Number 0.
Okay, Mooney is good. So what does that mean? Do I have to boost up Mimi?
Hello. Am I boosted? Can you hear me?
Yo, Eric. Yeah, just keep yapping, ladies, so I could check.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yapping.
Very nice. All right. Well, welcome, guys. Welcome. We're finally trying out this whole podcasting thing with our episode 0.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm a little low. Okay, let me
0.0.
let me raise myself just a slight. Okay. Also, thank you, Mooney, for composing the music.
Mhm.
Oh, no problem. I was just going to say, it's really difficult for us to actually do an audio track unless we're live. Am I right
Absolutely.
in thinking that? Yeah, because we need to get all the levels correct. But we'll get there.
Yeah. Also,
We shall.
I'm going to do, since I'm running production, I'm going to also post the alerts to this stream right now in the Discord. So, how's everyone doing today?
Are
I'm
you
doing
speaking
pretty
to
good.
us?
Yeah,
Or are you speaking to chat? What the hell?
I'm speaking to you guys. It's a podcast with us. It's us. It's just me and you guys.
Yeah.
It's us.
Of course.
It's us.
Well, Mimi, you go first before I let
I've
it.
had a week,
rough.
girl. I've had a week. I don't even know where to start, but long story short, I'm doing fine now. I went to the dentist yesterday, got my gums and teeth scraped. I don't want to go into detail because I know some people don't like teeth, but I got scraped. And it was great. I am just kidding. I hated it, but it's done. And damn, if you don't have health insurance, it's kind of expensive, you know? It was like $125 to get my teeth professionally cleaned, but it's been done. I feel I can tell I'm missing some of my gums now. So, but it feels good. And
Gum reduction.
Yeah, gum reduction, receding gum lines, speed run. And then I watched Obsession again. I actually bought it on Amazon and watched
the fourth time?
again yesterday.
Same.
Third time. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to support, so I'm like, nah, I'm gonna give them their money since I didn't get to watch it in theater. But,
yeah. Oh my god,
Hello,
watching it in the
Mooney.
theater. I had so much fun. I went by myself. I had so much fun. And I was so immersed, right? Because I usually sit kind of toward the front, kind of centered. You know, I'm not one of those people that's I have to be in the middle toward the back, because that's essentially where all the people are. Even if the screen is quite quiet, that's generally where all the people are, right? So I'm like, okay, I'll go a little bit toward the front and I'll just sit back a little bit. But I was so immersed in the movie that at one point, like, to summarize it, I kind of felt like Nikki was going to come up from under my chair, grab me by the ankles, and drag me under my seat just for watching Bear on screen.
Yeah.
I was that into it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I really felt that tension. I really felt that suspense. And I really felt like I was watching something I shouldn't be.
Exactly.
I felt trapped in the
think-
theater.
I think a lot of people probably wouldn't. Yeah, a lot of people left the theater feeling just some type of way, kind of feeling off. And it's one of those films where I don't know a lot of people would. I think people would love it, but I don't know if they would love to watch it again. And I'm watching it again to catch the things that I missed, you know, because when we all watched it together, I missed the beginning of it. So I wanted to kind of go back and watch it. So I watched it a second time to be like, let me see, what did I miss? And there was things I 100% missed, which is crazy.
Yeah.
So
The tiny details. Yeah.
Yeah,
Did you have a favorite scene?
favorite scene? Favorite scene in Obsession.
Are
in
we
a
getting
thriller?
spoilery right now? I don't know.
Oh hell yeah!
Spoiler alert!
Listen.
Spoiler alert!
I
Okay.
mean, sorry, like literally sorry if you've not seen it already, okay?
Yeah,
Even
spoiler
if we give any
alert.
spoilers, you have to just watch it anyway. There's no escaping it, all right? So
Yeah, exactly. Heads up! Spoiler alert! Okay, go. Probably when the aliens appeared at the end. That was crazy.
Oh. Hot take. That was my least favorite. I don't fuck with aliens.
Let me just get my stuff out here. My favorite scene, bro. Probably every time she snapped back into reality, like the main character. Well,
Oh.
one of the main characters.
Yeah, a lot of stuff were really creepy, but I really like the main actress's ability to scare you. You know what I mean? Obviously the iconic restaurant scene, but I also like the party scene where she read that also creepy kind of
poem.
Hansel and Gretel weird story. Yeah, that was an insane scene. And also scenes where you can't deny certain shit. We're spoiling, right? Where you can't deny that people don't know that there is no consent anymore. The autonomy is out the window.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, I feel that. I wanted to say, I think, okay, right. So when you think about Bear and Nikki, or
Sure.
Michael and Indy, right? If we're going by characters or by the actors, either way, I think the real fear was built, obviously, from the chemistry between the two of them. But the one thing that I loved about it in terms of lore was the idea that Indy was so protective of her scenes, of her roles, like what she was going to be doing. She wanted to keep as much as she could about her. What's the word I'm trying to look for here? Her performance. She wanted to keep her performance as secretive as possible. So there were certain things that she wasn't sharing with Curry or with Michael prior to filming the actual scenes. So the first scene that they filmed, when they were in the bedroom and she was on the bed in that first night that she spent at his, and you know, there was that moment where they were kissing and then she was like, what the fuck? And she like pulled back and fell off the bed and fell backwards. They did not know she was going to do that. That was the first scene that they filmed. And Curry was unsure. He was a little bit apprehensive. He didn't know if Indy at that point was going to be perfect. Not me smacking the shit out of my mic.
So for context, Indy is the name of the main actress, Nikki.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So it was, and he had said in interviews, like, it was that moment that he knew that she was the right one for the role. So
I love that.
the fear in Bear, or Michael, who is playing Bear, the fear in his face a lot of the time was extremely real because he did not know what she was going to do. And imagine
Wow.
Yes, imagine you're filming this thriller, you're filming this horror, and it's a lot of it is emotion, and a lot of it is coming from this one person, this one role, you know, i.e. Nikki in this situation, and you're just there with someone and you don't know what they're going to do. And the reason that Michael, who played Bear, was great for the part was because he was selected because of his ability to be in the moment and respond, right? And we probably don't think about these things as, you know, just everyday people. Like, we're not actors. We don't act. We haven't gone to acting school. We don't know all of the ins and outs and the terminology and the, you know, all that sort of stuff. So we're not like, every actor has their own niche, their own thing, like method actors, etc., etc. So apparently being able, well, it seems obvious now that I'm saying it, but being able to respond in the moment is quite a skill that maybe not every actor has. It might not be their thing, you know?
Exactly.
Improv.
Improv.
Yeah.
But I do find that fascinating. Go ahead, Nurse.
No, I'm just surprised that well, I don't know anything really about acting, but all I know from what you said, where Indy kept her acting ability or what she was going to do in that scene private and personal to her. The only thing that reminded me of is usually directors would do something, or they would keep people in the loop and then keep one person out of it, or like a few people out of it. And then when it happened on scene, when they directed it, for the express purpose of getting those authentic reactions from the actors or the actresses. For example, in the movie Alien, the first one, where, spoilers, I mean, it's been years, when the chest burster explodes out of that one actor's chest for the first time, one of the actresses had no fucking idea what was going to happen. So when it happened, the sheer terror on her face, seeing this practical effects gory alien burst out of his chest, she was purely terrified. And that's what you just reminded me of with that. Yeah.
What I was wondering was what when you were talking, Mooney, it made me think about how often are actors in the moment, like, because there are a lot of people that do method acting. So let's say, for example, it is a horror or a thriller. How many scenes are we actually seeing raw, unfiltered reactions? And do we think that's like kind of moral or kind of mean? Like, it makes me think of oh my god, what's her name? She unfortunately passed away recently. She was in The Shining, the actress in The Shining. Did you hear about her experience in The Shining?
Oh my god,
Shelley Duvall.
yes,
Shelley Duvall. Like, how she was treated is kind of crazy.
they had to do that scene a bunch of times to really get her exhausted and desperate. Yeah.
So
Authenticity.
I can imagine something like that just being so draining emotionally, physically, to the point where you might have PTSD from
Absolutely.
being an actor and immersing yourself in a role, in a scene, in a movie, whatever. Like, I'm sure there are actors who have taken a lot of heaviness from certain scenes that they've had to do. So.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And I think that, I don't know, I think that's incredibly interesting, because some of the best performances, you know, do require the actors to put themselves in a very specific situation. And I don't know if that, you know, if the term method acting is all encompassing. You know, I don't know enough to be as detailed as I want to be, but, you know, it very much does affect their lives. It would affect their lives. I'm sure a lot of actors have had roles that they never forget about, or that might keep them awake at night, or that might influence how they go on then to live their lives. But I think that's, you know, that's just something that you do for the art of it all. it's art at the end of the day, isn't it? Just in the same way that, you know, like a ballerina might sacrifice their entire life and their social life and sometimes their health, their well-being to play this very extremely graceful role in an art form that is entirely physically brutal.
In so many ways.
Yeah. Exactly.
Because when you think about it, when you're playing a character or a role, you're typically not yourself. So there's fun in doing something or being a way that you're not typically, but at the same time, there's a lot of training that's involved in order to respond instinctively as this character would. So yeah, I don't know. Like, it seems like it would be fun to be in a horror or thriller film, but if it was method acting, I don't know if I would, if I'd be comfortable being scared all the time. I feel like you need to have a really trusting space. You know, you have to trust all of the people around you to be in a vulnerable state. Like, if you have to get emotional and cry, or if you have, you know, an intimate scene with a partner in a film, like, I can't imagine what it's like being an actor, but yeah. So yeah, that's what I did with my day. What's your week? How have you been?
Girl, I'm gonna crash out. No, I'm just kidding.
Now that we are in a little the podcast a little, I just want to do another audio check, guys. Is the overall volume loud enough for y'all? Let us know in the side chat. Let us know how things are going.
Be honest, don't lie. Tell the truth.
Yeah, be honest, don't lie.
Yeah, exactly.
I think, well, I had a bit of a rant with you girls before, you know, we went live, before we were ready. Sorry?
Part 2? Go ahead.
Part 2?
Yeah.
Oh, no, not necessarily. I think more of a summary. Just a summary, you know? Just a summary. Yeah, I mean, obviously the heat in the UK has been exceptionally disgusting. There's no other way to put it. Like, it's just been awful, and I've had to very much adapt my days. I'm basically doing everything that I would normally intend to do during the day at stupid hours of the morning so that I can, you know, find relief in the cool air. You know, I'm trying to work out, I'm trying to eat well, but, you know, working out at 4 a.m. is the only option that I have right now if I want to remain cool. And then I'm trying to sleep throughout the day. I mean, I have the luxury of being able to do that. But yeah, I'm trying to sleep throughout the day so that I can essentially speed run the hottest points of the day, because I can't function. I don't know about you guys, like, not being able to change or control the temperature of your space is incredibly distressing, because it feels like it takes away all control and all autonomy, and I'm doing everything I can to stay cool, you know, absolutely everything. And it's not enough, because when you feel like you are being put in an oven, it's like that whole like rat in a bucket trick and then heating up the bucket, you know? I mean, that's more of a torture method, but
rat
it's kind of like that.
Okay.
Have you never seen that before?
Please explain.
Guys,
I need context for the listeners.
It's from a particular movie, and I can't remember what movie it is. Some of you might know, but there's this scene where they're basically interrogating a guy. Is it Too Fast, Too Furious? Yeah, oh my God. And they basically put a rat in a bucket, and then they hit a metal bucket, and they put that on the person's stomach. So they lay the person on the ground, the rat's in the bucket on top of, and so, you know, the rat's on top of the man's stomach and the bucket over the top. And they take a blowtorch and they heat up the bucket, and the rat is so distressed that the only way out is to
its way out.
Oh, that's medieval.
Dig through.
That's completely medieval.
Is to dig through the stomach, and it's a torture method. I'm the rat. I feel like the rat.
Oh God! I mean, UK houses, aren't they built different, like in terms of temperature control, and also you guys, for whatever reason, don't like air conditioning?
Yeah, I mean, our houses have been built to retain heat. retain heat. And I think that goes for a lot of buildings in like, not just in the UK, but in Europe as well. Like I know France were having huge problems with like their attic rooms. And it's bad. It's just bad. Like I want to be more creative with how outraged I am in regards to the subject of like heat waves around this part of the world, but it's bad, it's disgusting, I hate it, and it's a very real reality of like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do moving forward? Because every person in the UK right now that has tried to buy an air conditioning unit has been royally fucked over. They're all out of stock. People are acting like, you know, it's COVID all over again with toilet roll. And they were lining up, like, I think like Lidl or Aldi or something had an air conditioning unit in stock, and it's like, oh, £150, come and get an air conditioner. And people were lining up outside of the supermarket to grab one. Like, what about all of, like, okay, I say, what about all the people? What about me? Okay, bitch. What about me? Like, I don't drive.
Exactly.
I can't pull up in the whip and like join the line and be like, hey, you know, and then like go home with an air conditioner. I can't do that. So, and there's a lot of sites out there that are taking advantage of people wanting air conditionings. Have you heard about that?
Happens.
Yeah,
I
they
believe
take advantage of things. So it's like, oh yeah, buy this from our website. Oh, you're scammed. Like, it's not real. Like, that's also been happening in the UK as well.
Oh my God.
And it just sucks. Like, yeah, people suck. The world sucks. You know, the way of living right now fucking sucks. But then I snap back to reality, girls, because I have been watching so many videos. I don't know if you guys have seen the surge of YouTubers right now who are living in certain areas of the world, like Vietnam, for example. Have you seen this?
Yes, expats. I've seen them. I've seen people moving to Thailand, Vietnam, and like East Asia, where
And,
the
like,
cost
blogging
of
about their
living is low.
experiences.
I mean, I'm talking about people who actually live there, not people who are going to live there.
Like they live there, as in they are from there, or
Do you mean like those
I mean,
videos
I
of
don't know what
tours
expat is.
of like what their... You mean like videos of tours of what their living situations look like?
Yes, Mimi, yes. And then you're like on the
Seen.
verge of living in slums. I don't know what an expat
Yes,
is. You're going to have
yes.
to remind me. But I see those.
Expatriate.
And okay, I see those videos. Yeah, the people that actually live there, they're born there and they're living in almost slum-like conditions. And also the people in China that live in like friggin' like apartments the size of coffins. I sit here, I complain about not having AC, and then I watch videos like that and I feel humbled as fuck. So like, I can't say too much. It's a horrible world we live in.
coffin apartments in China? Insane.
Yeah, absolutely insane.
Yeah. It's not fun, especially when you're living in a place that isn't prepared for these types of changes in the weather or natural disasters and whatnot. Like, we have places that get hit with tsunamis all the time or hurricanes, and you know, there's a lot of really sad cases of people not making it because they weren't properly prepared, or they didn't heed any kind of warnings and stuff. But in this case with the heat, like, I just can't imagine what it's like for people. Like, yes, I live in a place that is hot, but we all have central heating and we have pools and stuff. And I don't know. I can't imagine what it's like for everybody. But I'm definitely sending cool thoughts out to you. And that sucks that people are scamming. And it reminds me of kind of 2020 when we had the COVID outbreak and masks. People were, starting businesses. There was a lot of good happening out of it, but there was a lot of negative too. People were 100% scamming or buying out everything and then selling it at a higher, buying low, selling high kind of thing, because it's a necessity at this point and we needed something. So that is always going to happen, where someone is going to try to capitalize and benefit off of other people's suffering.
And be careful, because when you go and you click on a website, make sure you see if that website is the original website, because with AI and technology, you could clone an exact replica, duplicate of a website to purchase an item and realize, oh my God, I just purchased something from a completely duped website that is a copy of its original. Horrible. Be careful,
when
guys.
you purchase Boofu instead of Fubu.
Exactly.
Yeah, go check out the websites. Make sure it's a .org or a .com. Double check the Better Business Bureau. All the things. You have to do so much at this point to make sure you don't get scammed, and even then, you might still get scammed. But it just makes me wonder, what's it like for people who are dyslexic? Do you get scammed a lot? Do you always go to the wrong website? Like if you type
my
something,
God.
I'm genuinely curious.
I know, I should be laughing. Like, that is a consideration I didn't even think about. Oh.
Genuinely curious.
You know what it is? One thing you can do to see if something is legit and authentic is to just check links, check like any customer service information, make sure that everything is uniform before you click that button, guys. But yeah, wow.
Raise your hand if you've been scammed. Have you ever been scammed before?
Yeah.
Same.
Yes.
Not me laughing.
The thing is, right? I never thought I would be scammed ever. But that is one of the overconfidence is an insidious killer, bro.
Perfect target.
I'm like, there's no way, because I'm expecting a scammy website to be so fucking obvious, to just have like wonky font and everything being like crazy. But man, let me tell you, I was bamboozled. I'll save that for another time.
I'm
Don't think I've ever been
overly
scammed.
cautious. You don't think so? Not even once?
think so.
You haven't accidentally subscribed to like a year's worth of magazines that you'll never read?
Ah.
I don't. Not that I remember, honestly. Not that I remember, and that's all I can say. You know.
Did you ever invest in a cryptocurrency?
No, never.
I did.
What was that craze
I have.
where we had like, have you?
Yeah, I did.
I
Yeah.
also have.
Yeah, it was part of the Dogecoin pump and dump scheme. I made like 10 grand.
Really?
Yeah, I did.
Wow.
If I had more money, I
What did
probably
you
would have
do with
made
that
more
10
money.
grand? You didn't just give it away, did you?
Girl, what did I do with that 10 grand? I don't remember. I think I invested in like my PC or something.
Same. I
Yeah.
also, but I was also scammed. I was scammed, but I also made more money than I lost. So I'm the luckiest unlucky person. That's my new tagline.
Yeah.
Damn, I don't think I've ever had a considerable amount of money, like ever. I've always just like got by in any way, shape, or form that I can. I've never been able to save a decent amount of money. I've never been able to quote unquote invest a decent amount of money. I've never experienced it before. I always just fucking live paycheck to paycheck and survive. So can't
I
relate.
wonder how different it is in different countries, but I think work culture is a lot more lax in the UK than in the US. Like, you guys get longer breaks or mandatory, kind of. I'm not exactly sure, but I believe so.
I mean, when you say longer breaks, what the hell do you mean? Because like either you get maybe right, so there's certain laws, right? For example, if you work for 4 hours, you don't get a break. If you work anything over 4 hours, maybe you get half an hour, or no, 20 minutes to half an hour. If you work an 8-hour shift or longer, then you're legally, they can give you an hour, right? But it's different. Sometimes you get paid for that hour, sometimes you don't. Some companies won't pay you for that hour. Yeah, but that's it. Like, depending on how many hours you work, we don't get quote unquote longer breaks. Like I worked for a company once where, you know, because I had a client base and I worked by appointment. So if my appointment leaked into my lunch break, I did not get that compensated.
Oh God.
So let me rephrase, because one, that's very interesting.
Mhm.
Thank you for sharing that. But I typoed with my mouth. I didn't mean a break. I guess
Okay.
I meant like time off. So like paid time off as in vacation time. I think in the UK you guys
Right.
get probably like a month or so, whereas in the US I think we maybe get a week or two. So
Right. Oh, so you mean like
PTO,
vacation
yeah,
time?
paid time off. Mhm.
Hmm. Maybe.
Or like
maybe,
sick
yeah.
leave, for example. I'm not sure what you call it, like how we take breaks for public holidays and things
Mhm.
like that, where not like a break in the middle of a shift, but I mean like actual
Right, that's what we
days.
would,
Mhm.
refer to. Yeah, I mean, we get we get like a holiday allowance, we get a time off allowance per year, but it depends on the kind of business that you're in. Because, for example, if you work in hospitality, then you're not like you're usually you only get one holiday off a year. So,
Mhm.
and you don't really get to choose. So someone might have Christmas off. Some of the, task force might have Christmas Day off, but that doesn't mean you get it off, because if you're in a position
Mhm.
where you like that's a day you're open, then you might lose out on that, if that makes sense. So they basically give you just enough for you to feel okay. But I think the work ethic in the UK is very much work until you're dead.
Oh
Mhm.
God.
Not fun, not exciting,
Mm-mm.
not signing up. That's why we work for
Not very
ourselves.
mindful, not very demure. Just none of
Mm-mm.
that. No.
Wow.
So,
Yeah.
sorry, go on.
No,
Go.
I saw
wanna
when
say
we were
something.
talking about scams, and I saw something where someone said the only scam was like the early access games that they tried to avoid, which I'm like, segue.
Oh, I'm interested in that
Ah.
actually. Wait, who said that?
Zir.
Can we get a re-up? Oh my god, Zir. Yeah. Oh dear. Yeah, I want to talk about, okay, Zir says, got scammed by some early access video games in my time. Thankfully, never on any kind of big. Tell us more about that, by the way. Tell us more about that while I go for a toilet break. I shall be right back.
Yeah, of course. Absolutely. He's gone. Time to talk nonsense.
Nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't say I couldn't sing.
Early
Okay.
access games, guys. Man, they're early. The fact that Steam. Okay, so there's this new thing, right, on Steam where you could see your own personal curated calendar of all the games that are coming out. There's a little checkbox there when you click on it that says hide early access games. That's how you know.
Really?
Yeah, that's how you know that it has that people
These
like they
problems.
just don't want to see an early access game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, permanently
Dang, I did not know
early,
that.
infinitely early, never finished. Yeah,
Just very interesting.
imagine investing in an early access game and then it taking so long that you like develop a terminal illness or die before it ever comes
mean,
out.
That's kind of sort of happened. Like with what's it called? Grand Theft Auto 6, how it hadn't been released yet, and one of someone who worked on the project, or someone who kind of worked with maybe Epic or whoever, whatever, had a cousin or a family member who was terminally ill and asked for early access to GTA so that they could experience it before they died. And I think they were granted that. Yeah. And I was like, damn. Sometimes you gotta die to get what you want.
So, talking about early
Welcome
access,
back.
right? Because
Go on.
because I had started right. So I had started writing a little bit about it, right? When I get these ideas and I'm like, oh yeah, I have something to say about this in particular. I'm like, let me just write about this for a sec, right? So I started writing something, and what actually inspired me to right, was my experience with Paralives. Okay. Because Paralives was probably in development, I think, maybe 7 years, maybe longer. Maybe longer. And it started off with one guy. This French-Canadian guy called Alex Massey. And it started with one guy, and then I think it went on to like a team of 3, and then they developed the team. But like Paralives was a really long time in the making. And to basically develop a life sim is a huge feat, right? We all know here that The Sims, and when I talk about The Sims, I'm talking about The Sims franchise as a whole, but basically dominates the life sim genre in the gaming world. Yeah, we all know this. We know this.
Yes.
But the thing is, any new developer that comes along to try to create a new life sim, right? The life simulation community get their knickers in a twist. They love to hate on the Sims franchise. I think if something is around for long enough, people eventually start forgetting how good they have it and turn on it for whatever reason. And I'm starting to think, is it just because people these days can't afford or do not want to buy games and their DLC, you know, because there are so many different types of payment models that you can have with games these days. You know, what is it? Because we don't get the physical copies anymore of games. Not really, right? I mean, you can, but you don't. So you don't have that physical feeling in your hands anymore to know, hey, I bought this game. You know, like when I played The Sims 2000, you know, from the year 2000, and the first ever The Sims game that came out. I'm not talking about Sim City or anything like that, right? But it's like, and then I remember when the disc broke and I went and I bought another disc, you know, and I just having that, spending 20 quid and having that physical game in my hand, it felt amazing. But we don't really get that anymore at all. We don't really have analog media anymore at all. But the thing with the life sim community, I think they're fucking spoiled, okay? I just think that they're spoiled.
They're bored.
Genuinely, I do. They're spoiled, they're bored, they don't want to pay for games anymore. Fully fledged games, they don't want to pay for games anymore. Like The Sims 4, I have a huge love-hate relationship with the topic of The Sims 4, right? Because I love The Sims 4. I played 1, I played 2, I played 3, and bear in mind, when I was playing The Sims 2 and The Sims 3, I wasn't in a position where I could afford to buy those games. I didn't have all of the DLC. I didn't have all of the packs. There were still packs that I didn't even get to experience during its time. Okay, so I don't relate to people who are like, oh, this is too expensive, because I was there with 2 and 3. But with 4, playing it since its release in 2014, I was able to afford to buy the DLC as and when it came. And I decided whether or not, okay, new DLC is out. Do I want this? A new game pack? Oh, a new stuff pack? Oh, a new expansion pack? Do I want this? Can I afford this? Yes or no? And I've been doing that for over 10 years now, right? There's still some packs I won't buy, like The Sims Adventure Awaits. Like, I don't have it. I don't own it. I have no need for it. But I do have a lot. Now, when it comes to games like Paralives, for example, and you will usually see, which is a game in early access, might I add, right? It is a game in early access. And Mimi, how many copies of Paralives were sold? I think we were talking about this earlier. Do you remember?
About 250,000, I believe, were sold in the first weekend or the first day or two.
Right. So the team now have that. The team now have that money, and they now live with the pressure of developing a game with all of that money. And I'm sure people are now sitting back and they're thinking, okay, bitch, you better develop that shit, because we as a life simulation freaking community, we're hungry. We don't want the Sims anymore.
Y'all invested.
Yeah, they're invested. And it's funny because when I see the Paralives team posting on YouTube and they're like, hey, these are the updates that we're coming out with, ooh, and then like everyone's in the comments like, oh girl, do your thing, like this is cool, like take your time, bitch, even though they're sitting on millions of dollars, pounds,
over $10
whatever,
$10 million.
Canadian dollars.
Yes.
Exactly, right? But they're
Bamboozled.
like, oh, girl, take your time. Exactly. But then when the Sims 4 posted about updates, and bear in mind that a few years ago, I can't pinpoint when, the Sims 4 team said, hey, we realize we fucked up a little bit, and there are so many elements of our game that, you know, we may have overlooked. We realized that there are a lot of bugs, blah, blah, blah. And they were like, we are going to essentially curate a team of people that focus entirely on revamping the game so we can actually get it to a point where it's working. And they are still dishing out those fixes. They still have a huge laundry list of things to do. They're going through all of their forums, they're looking at all of the problems, and they want to fix it. Is that good enough? No. Because if you look at all the comments when they post all these updates, people are in the chat, fix your broken game, fix your broken game. You go to Paralives and they're like, girl, take your time. And it's like, what am I experiencing here? What kind of madness is this? Why does Paralives in early access, an unfinished game, why do they get to sit back and chill after sitting on now like millions and millions of dollars? Why is it okay for them to basically just be like, yeah, no, when they now have entered themselves into almost a lifetime? Like, what? They're going to get ravaged. The life sim community are dogs, and they're about to get torn apart.
Oh my goodness. I raising my hand. I honestly think
Go for it.
these people that you're describing, okay, this segment of people that are so enamored and in love with the idea of a game are so bored with the reality of The Sims, which obviously should be where they originally came from, like, because The Sims is a pioneer, like the grandfather of life sims, right? They are in love with the idea of something rather than the reality of it. It's the promise, not the actual fact of the matter, which is they probably would wait like an infinite amount of time for a game to be even a percentage done as compared to like The Sims. So that's my thoughts.
I think also too, people have forgotten the legacy of The Sims and how The Sims is essentially one of those franchises that had to walk in order so that a franchise like Paralives could run. So of course the game is going to be broken if it's built on, it's, from our childhood. Yes, they've had 20 years, but a lot of the things that they're working on are probably also that old. And you have to rework things in order to transition into how, technology and our computers and everything run today, but it goes back to games that I've played, platforms that I've played, like Second Life, or like, let's say IMVU. People would think like, man, people still play these games because they're so ancient. A lot of people forget about it, but a lot of people still play. And the people that still play, they're frustrated because they're the ones who are actively looking every single day for updates and changes. They're not someone who just came around today for VR chat to, not have to sit there and wait like people in Second Life. So I think the Sims community, I think some people are just tired of waiting. And with Paralives, maybe it's so new that they can afford to wait. But it is a very interesting phenomenon that you point out. I can absolutely see the frustration in it, because it's like, why don't they get the same treatment,
Yeah, and like, why can't you start over? Why can't you start fresh? Like, maybe it's all about perspective, because I'm seeing some people in chat saying, like, OX says, Paralives got 15 devs on Maxis has got 200 to 500. Sure, we can talk about the amount of people that it takes to be on a team to make a fully fledged game. We can talk about Stardew Valley and how it was made by one guy, and we can like be like, ooh, wow, ooh, like we can do that all day, all long. I think it's what you do with that, though. It's what you do. And making a live sim game is freaking huge. Like when Inzoi came out and, Krafton were like, yeah, Inzoi Studio, let's do this. And people were like, hey, yeah, but Krafton is a sort of a smaller developer of a huger developer that made PUBG and all that sort of stuff. They didn't get the same grace because of where the Inzoi Studio didn't get the same grace because of where they were coming from, where their roots were coming from. And people were like, why are we paying for an early access game when they have billions and billions of dollars? Like, how is this okay? But, you know, Inzoi Studio was still a small studio. So there was uproar about that as well, like, oh, why are we supporting them? But it's like, but it's a whole different team making a life sim game. And when Inzoi first came out, and this makes me laugh, when Inzoi first came out, simple things, all I wanted was for my Zoys to be able to have a group meal around the table like a real family. It took ages for them to be able to do that. And when we look at all the issues that Paralives has in terms of being able to have the powers multitask, do simple things like eat around the table. These are all really simple things that you expect from a life sim. However, they are so complicated to code and to develop. And I think it's really tiny details like this that sometimes people like don't understand. Like, sure, 15 developers or whatever, but like they are going to have to expand their team at some point. They're going to have to work their freaking socks off. They'll probably burn out really fast. Doesn't matter how much money they have. They're going to have to hire more people. The more people
look
they
at the
hire,
Project Zomboid team. They lost
Ooh.
all their shit due to a fire. Did you hear any of the storyline of Project Zomboid? It's kind of crazy.
A little. Yeah, a little.
But yes, when you say things like that, Mooney, I didn't want to switch it to Project Zomboid, but with Paralives and indie developers, I think it does depend sometimes. I think it makes a difference if they are an indie developer and have a small team versus a larger team with a lot more support behind them. Just because people might feel more comfortable to support indie games and give them that time because there is a smaller team. But I'm not entirely sure. But with that, there was something you were mentioning about what you wanted. You wanted your Zoys to be able to sit around the table and have a family meal. Yeah. I wonder if things like that, even though they're complicated, I also think sometimes they're not high on the list of things that need to get taken care of, because it's not something that's broken. It's just something that doesn't exist. And so I think a lot of times the list of things that they take care of has an importance ranking, and the things that are on top of the list are the ones that get kind of catered to first. So the one that's going to please the masses or fix things that are actually broken, like a lot of patches. You'll see a lot more patches than you would expansions and additional things typically in updates for games. So I wonder if that, plays into it at all.
Within Zoe, it was aesthetics. It was
100%.
Zoe's looked. With Paralives, it was the building. They pick something they want to start with, and they invest all of the time into that, and everything else comes secondary. Like Paralives, the building is great, incredible, but it's not a building game. It's a life sim game. Everything has to have some balance. The social interactions in Paralives are freaking atrocious. Just like being able, and if you think of all the things that require you to simulate life, that's what we're focusing on. So social interactions and I think eating are important. But what I'm, I guess, trying to lead into is this pushed me to do a little bit more deep diving around early access. Like, where did the term early access come from? Why is it a thing? And why do we talk about it so much? Because being myself, I guess where I started with gaming, right, was The Sims. And I moved from The Sims and I moved into role-playing games, which are huge games. When I played The Elder Scrolls Oblivion for the first time, boom, blown away. Fallout 3 for the first time, boom, blown away. And ever since then, I've been a role-playing games girly. I used to love text-based role-playing games way back in the mid-2000s when it was still a huge thing. So I've always loved to immerse myself in a world. Now, a lot of the early access games in a world. A lot of the early access games right now, for me, I struggle to fully immerse myself because it's just unfinished. And usually the smaller indie teams can't take on such a big feat, such as, these huge immersive role-playing games. Yes, OX Early Access Games was made to allow tiny teams with no funding to get revenue to develop a game. Yes, sure, but where did it come from? Its origins. Now, Minecraft. I don't know if anyone... I don't play Minecraft. I don't like Minecraft. I'm not interested in Minecraft, okay? But I am very much aware... Yeah, hot take. I don't play it, not interested. I've had people try to get me to play it. I don't want to. But
that's me with League.
Is it actually?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't play League either.
Yeah.
League of Legends. I think I've maybe played it.
I played a few games,
briefly?
but yeah, no. There's just games that are just not for
the tutorial game. I didn't even finish the tutorial game.
Yeah.
I was out. But I gave it a shot because your friends like it, and I was like, no, not for me. But sorry, continue, please.
No, I mean, it's all good, but I think like it all started with Minecraft, which was essentially released. It was at the time it was called paid alpha. So a version of Minecraft, and anyone that knows more can correct me on this, but a release of Minecraft was opened in paid alpha, where people could pay an amount of money and they could have access to an early version of Minecraft. And then it was Steam in I think 2013 or something like that were like, oh yeah, okay, early access, we're going to coin that, we're going to market that, we are going to ride that like no one's ever ridden it before.
Really?
And that's why we hear early access so much, and we can kind of thank Steam for that, I believe. But going from playing these really well fleshed out and developed role-playing games to me now, I think I kind of started moving away from playing mostly role-playing games when I discovered Apex Legends, and I was like, a first-person shooter, this seems really fun, let me try this. And then I tried Dead by Daylight, and I moved on to Valorant, and I kind of expanded my world a little bit. But every time it seems like I play an early access game these days, yes, I know they're unfinished, and I know it's a chance for the developers, but I think that market is completely oversaturated. Completely oversaturated. And I read this statistic, right? It was an article published March last year by this site called wnhub.io, and it's basically like a hub for developers, publishers, and everything to kind of look at statistics, get information, like a little newsletter online, right? And so 28% of the top grossing new releases in 2024 on Steam were all early access games. There's a huge amount of games on Steam that are early access, and there's a huge amount of people that are buying these games. That leads me to think about digital overconsumption. Buying games because you feel like it's the next best thing. Believing, I'm supporting a small indie developer by giving them my $30, $40, you know?
$40 for an early access game.
Well, that's one thing I wanted to ask. With early access, is it basically a pre-order, but you actually get to experience it early?
It's a half-baked pre-order, bro.
Is it a pre-order as in you're paying the full price, but you get to access it early, or do you get discounts?
Not
or early access typically lower cost or not?
Well, from what I remember, anyway, let's just say from what I experienced, right, with Inzoi in particular, because I was very interested in Inzoi. I think it was about £30 for Inzoi, and the promises that they made was, okay, pay this price now. When the game is fully finished, by the time the game's fully finished, you would have paid the lowest price for the game. And they said, for the first year of updates or the first 2 years of updates, you'll get all updates, DLC, extras, etc., for free. So once the game is out of early access, and they'll then sell it for the full price, whatever that may be. We don't know what it will be, but they'll sell it for the full price. And then I'm guessing any and all DLC then after that you'll have to pay for, or maybe they'll say you'll never have to pay for DLC. All updates will be free. So there'll be a point where they'll probably stop. Yeah, they'll probably stop earning money. So whatever they're getting now during early access, it might be the most money they ever make, because if these companies are saying, or developers are saying, we're never going to make you pay for DLC, like Paralives maybe, then it's like, okay, so this money that you now have is all you're really ever going to have, unless you do deals, sponsorships, all that sort of stuff.
But you have to consider that there's always going to be new audience. Yes, they might not make as much as they did in the beginning, but there's still money coming in because there's still people who either want multiple copies of the game or are buying and gifting it for other people to play,
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, if they make it, if they make a big name for themselves, like if
they make it
Paralives
that far, that long. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if they do survive and they end up standing the test of time and it becomes the next best life sim, because that could be a possibility, then sure, the copies will sell forever.
And when games like that hit a 1.0, they get a huge surge in sales as well. But who knows how long?
More of a finished game.
Of course.
And someone mentioned in chat not to forget about Kickstarter as well, how that was pretty big in the early 2010s. So that could also contribute to the early access phenomenon. 100%.
Was Kickstarter just for games, or was it? It's a whole range.
No, not
it's
just
for projects.
Games, but yeah, for any sort of
right?
project, including games.
Yeah, I don't see any. Like, if someone wants to, for example, I don't know, sell a line of plushies that they've made from home, and they want to like start a business out of it. I literally see no harm in supporting small companies like that, like Pop Off, and games and the like. I just think I personally, just to conclude, like, I personally don't have a problem with early access. There are games I have bought or been gifted or will happily buy in early access, happily, right? If I choose that I want to support that game in particular, I think my concern or what interests me the most is overconsumption of digital purchases and how early access encourages that, because there are so many. There are just so many,
Yeah, it's in part of the culture now.
It is.
Which is a great segue.
Exactly. Yeah, I was going to say there are other things I want to talk about. Hopefully there's time for me to talk about other things later, but let's move on to the next segment. Ladies.
All right. Well, I can go, Mimi can go, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, I think it's a great transition because Mooney is saying how there's a lot of games out there, and there are a lot of certain types of games, don't you think?
I do. Have you guys heard of the term friend slop?
Friend slap, what's that?
Fuck you, friend slop, you slut.
By definition, friend slop, or in other circles, friend-like, to basically be similar to roguelike, is a subgenre of cooperative video games that are cheap, simple, and obviously primarily focused on social interaction rather than the value of the game itself. So, how would you know in the first 5 minutes of a game to know if it's friend slop? If the game is fun simply by the fact that you're playing with your friends and not the game itself. If you can't play that game alone, single player, then it's not made for single player. It's made specifically for social connection. And if you take a look, if you go on Steam right now, guaranteed, if you scroll down to popular new releases or any trending game, there is one friend slap game that is like selling like hotcakes for around $5 to $15. Right? I already see people mentioning Gamble with Your Friends, Peak, and all that. So the reason
Mecha Chameleon?
And Mecha Chameleon. Mecha Chameleon sold, I believe, 5 million copies in the first, I think, week.
You're kidding me.
And for context, Mecha Chameleon, I haven't played, but I know you've played, Mimi. Mecha Chameleon is a game where it's essentially hide and seek, or what is that other game Prop Hunt? There you go. Thank you. Prop Hunt, where you have to camouflage yourself by painting yourself as part of the environment, which honestly is very unique and very cool because the clips that you see online showcase people's inherent artistic ability. And I think that is much more unique than just turning into a prop or turning into an item in the game. You know, you actually have to test your ability to blend in and think about your positioning and where you have to be. Anyways, that was interesting. Also, in what I just said, I said clips. So Friend Slop is interesting because it is so cheap and affordable and easy to access that I would think, like, why would anyone play this? How would you know about this? Friend Slop is driven and marketed primarily by streamers and content creators. And when a new Friend Slop game comes out on Steam, you see clips immediately from, I don't know, your favorite streamer or whatever. And then that then influences either their Discord group, or if they're not a streamer, just, it's so easy to be like, hey, look at this 4-player co-op game. Oh, they're selling it in a bundle? Buy it. Oh, cool. Now the whole gang has that same game. And that's how the cookie crumbles. But the thing about that is that the retention rate of playing that game, 3% of people continue to play that game after 30 days. Only 3%.
Wow.
So let's say,
what the fuck?
let's say,
And which game is this?
in general, the average statistic for a average Friend Slop game or friend-like game, the churn rate for it is only 3% of the players. Let's say for, I don't know about Mecha Chameleon because it's hot right now. It's the flavor of the month. 5 million players, 5 million people bought that game. In 30 days, only 3% may or may not play that game again. And it's the churn.
You know what? You know what that
Go on.
reminds me of? It's kind of like fast fashion gamified, like the game version
for
of fast
sure.
fashion. So like, remember, a lot of times I feel like time is pretty sensitive. Like, for example, when Squid Game came out, a lot of Friend Slop versions of that game came out, and we played one, and you could see how trash it was. Like, someone put it together, one dude put it together very quickly, which was fun. You still got to try and hang out and play it and experience what it might have been like in the show, but it was not a finished game. But I don't think it was ever meant to be, and that I would absolutely consider to be Friend Slop. But it didn't, I don't think they charged anything. I don't remember paying for it. Did we pay for it?
Girl, I don't remember. I'm not sure.
Which game again?
The Squid Game. I don't remember what it was called. Was it called
Crab Game?
or something? Yeah.
I think I think it's free.
I never played that crap.
Yeah, I think it was free, but it was based off of a TV show called Squid Game. And so I think they were going off of I'm calling it fast gaming, right? Because it was time sensitive, right? There was a pressure to get something out that people could play during the virality of the show. So that's kind of what it was making me think of.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think it was free.
I hated that game with a passion. I think I don't think I ever even loaded it. I there is something about Friend Slop. Like, there are some, like, I enjoy Repo. I think Repo is a really cool concept, but there are just some Friend Slop games that I'm like, I freaking hate this. And I think my first, I guess, experience of Friend Slop was, like, back in, the lockdown days, and we had a lot of time on our hands, and I had a group of IRL friends that I used to work with. And we all had a little Discord community, and we would get online and we would play games. And then I was slowly introduced to the idea of Friend Slop games. I think we played Among Us. I didn't like that because I didn't like lying. And I found that, like, incredibly difficult. And, even early access, I think, like, Valheim was, like, one of the first early access games that I experienced, and, like, I had a lot of firsts during that time. But yeah, there's just something about Friend Slop. Like, I find it hard to connect. If a game has a very weak premise, like, it might do well as a, like, pump and dump situation, but no. There's no sustainability.
There are two thoughts regarding friend slop games, two very polarizing opinions. People who critique the idea and its effects on the gaming industry as a whole, and people who support the idea of friend slop games. Obviously, the people who support friend slop games or that subgenre of co-op games enjoy the fact that it is an easy and very accessible and affordable way to play with your international friends. I saw in chat someone mentioned that. It's a very easy, the whole point is that it's almost like a virtual board game that you could pick up and play anytime without any fear of I just wasted like so much money, because it is usually priced around, I don't know, less than $10, $5, at most maybe $20, but that's really cutting it. Now you're getting into early access territory. And speaking of early access, an early access friend slop game it just sounds so bad. It sounds so bad.
Yeah.
Because what are you waiting for it to be finished? Like the novelty of it will wear off so fast. But yeah, there's two polarizing opinions that I've seen online. And I can see that, obviously, Mooney, you have a certain take on it. You might be in the more critical area, and Mimi, you might be in support of it. The critical side of the friend slop opinionators would be that they basically view it as like low effort garbage that clogs up your library. And it is it's clones of essentially the same game over and over and over again. And they would prefer to play something and invest their money and their time into something that has some substance, like you said, Moni. Some kind of thought behind it. Not just something that you could just quickly pick up and play. But on the other side, that's exactly why people buy those games. Because they don't want to play something, invest into something that possibly is more expensive, and they play it one time. They're more casual about it. What else?
Yeah,
there are so many examples of good, quote unquote, friend slop games. And I will talk about where that term was coined. It was coined, obviously, on Twitter, now X. It was started as a joke, but of course, like internet fashion, it caught on, it went viral. And then journalists started to standardize it and normalize it to kind of be like, it's a joke. But then the more people used the term, the more it became a thing. So now you think of, you go on Steam and you see immediately a 4-player co-op game that's funny and has physics and has proximity chat, and you're like, oh, it's a friend slop game.
Yeah.
But games like Lethal Company, Repo, Peak, which I have yet to play, Content Warning, RV There Yet, and Mecha Chameleon, Yap Yap, remember that one?
Yeah.
Barely.
Yap Yap.
I think I played that once.
Yeah, exactly.
I think
Maybe
I played
twice.
twice.
Yeah.
I remember these games because every time I look at my Steam library, I'm reminded of a time. Like, there are some games I have in my Steam library that I may have bought to possibly be a part of, like, Nurse, when you were hosting a lot of community games back in the day. And it was very much go, go, go. It's like,
we could talk about that.
Game, and you host a fucking server, and then you're like, yeah, anyone who wants to join, do it. And then it put us all in this position of like buying a game and installing it and like playing it in like a 10-minute window, or you'd miss out. Like, the FOMO was strong. And I bought games. Yeah, all that stuff. Like, I had golf with your friends during like lockdown time. We won't talk about that, but like, I've purchased so many games under the impression of like, I'll join in on whatever the fun is on today's stream, and then I just don't, or I don't get a chance, and then it's like moved on to the next.
Yeah,
that's the
problem.
Thing. And
I'm part of the problem.
Think of 5 to 10 games that had an effect like that, for sure.
Which ones?
Are we there
Just
yet?
get my library up.
Side effects.
Kletka.
Glenka, Dale and Dawson. You already said Yap Yap. What
Yeah.
else?
Yeah.
Sort.
Peace.
Sort. Yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
God. So yeah, I am part of the problem.
Aneurysm.
Panicore, nuclear
Nightmare.
murky divers,
Yeah.
Kletka.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
else is there? The headliners.
The flashing lights.
Flashing lights. To be fair, I mean,
I mean, it was fun, but like the point is you probably played it once or twice.
Pilgrim.
That supermarket together. Did we play that a lot? I swear we played it like
we
twice.
had an event once.
We had an event once. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, but like the point for me, I don't mind friend slap if I'm with the right friends. And there are games even that I would not consider friend slap that I still only played in a very short amount of time. Like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I really enjoyed that game. It reminded me of Friday the 13th that I can't play anymore, or Dead by Daylight, which is like the only other option right now. So that one was kind of fun, but I don't play it anymore because I don't really have anyone that wants to play it, you know? So there's situations like that. But yeah, there's a lot of games that I just think aren't meant to play for a long time, and it kind of reminds me of friendships, how there's that saying where you have I forgot it already. Friends are there for right now or a lifetime. What is the fucking saying? I literally was talking about this the other day and I
Quick Google search.
forgot it, but
Yeah. It'll come back to you.
someone knows it. I'm sure someone in here knows it. Like they're here for a reason, a season, or a lifetime, something like that.
Oh, that's cute. That's cute.
Yeah, a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And I think friend slop games and even early access games can kind of fit into that. I don't think a lot of them are meant to be around for a long time. They're meant to just be here for a season. And so it's, if you're playing with the right people, you can still make good memories on something that, you know, just was meant to be fleeting and not be around for a while.
Absolutely.
But yeah,
Speaking
what
on
I
that,
don't like is, yeah, go ahead, sorry.
speaking on that, I actually met you guys because I was hosting back in the peak 2025 days, late 2025, right? First of all, let's get a timeline out. Friendslap was coined on Twitter in March of 2025, around that time. By late 2025, when I went back and I started streaming again, and I did my 100 days challenge, I played a bunch of games, and a lot of them, every week, maybe once or twice a week, I hosted a community event of, I don't know, an open lobby, right? I remember someone calling me like a party streamer at one point, which was very strange because that was never my intention whatsoever. I just wanted a way to get people together and play a game together. And I met you guys because I was hosting a bunch of co-op games at the time. I met you, Mimi, on Lethal Company in like this 20 to 30 player open lobby. Anyone can join. It was public. And then I met Mooney. I heard both of your voices. I heard Mimi's voice for the first time in Lethal, and I heard Mooney's voice for the first time in Phasmophobia, which I don't consider a friend slap game. That's more of a co-op game because you can play that game single player. But these games do, while they might be cheap or lackluster, they do open up the possibilities of forming friendships that may last a lifetime or a season. So I'm glad that happened.
Yeah, helps form friendships, primarily online friendships.
Parasocial as well.
Which very much keeps it in one place. Like, yeah, you can go on to meet people in real life and have true friendships, but like, damn, if only that sort of thing can be applied to real life and we could come together as communities, like real life communities, more often and have that experience, that would be fantastic. That would be absolutely fantastic. But yeah, it helps with online friends, but maybe not so much in real life.
Oh,
I mean,
of course.
I think it could. Like, if you have a game night, like, there's a lot of people who have real friendships and they meet every now and again to play, like, D&D, is that what it's called? Dungeons and Dragons?
Yeah, but I mean, like, from strangers to friends, you know? Like you do
Oh,
have
yeah,
apps
yeah.
and like from strangers to friends. Like you do have apps. Like there's an app called I think like Meetup where you can meet up surrounding general interests. Like you can meet up for game nights, board game nights. Like there is that. But
I love game nights. I do.
yeah, game nights are fun.
Mhm.
Game nights
I
are
do.
fun.
I used to host game nights at my house all the time, and then COVID happened, and I don't want anybody in my shit no more. But yeah, I would host game nights, and we would play actual board games because for me, it's about the connection. So, and then when times like COVID happens, I don't have that physical connection anymore. So then what do I resort to? I resort to online gaming with friends.
Yeah.
And so that's just my journey, and I enjoy it, but that's because I feel like I'm around good people. Like I will play with friends that I already have, so it's a friend strengthening thing with connections that you already have. But again, the game itself doesn't matter. I think someone mentioned something like you could spend money on a game or going to the movie or buying food at a, like if you go to the movie theater and you buy food, theater food is pretty crap, but also pretty expensive when you could just go to the grocery store and buy that same thing, but you're not paying for the actual product. You're paying for the experience. You're paying for being able to watch a film and a movie with a friend or a date or a crowd of an audience that you don't, you know what I mean? So if you go...
Sorry, I just wanted to jump in and say, like, yeah, I can go to the grocery store and pick up popcorn, but like I can go to the theater and get popcorn hot, like freshly popped, like hot, warm.
And it's different.
You know?
It's a different experience. Yes, I am team sneak food into the theaters, but
Oh, for real?
I mean, you don't even have to sneak food in here. You can bring it in as long as it's not hot food. Like, they don't care. Yeah, you don't have to hide it. Yeah.
I don't know if it's like that here. I don't know. I'm team sneak food though. Like when I was in New York, I would go to a street vendor, get a hot dog, put it in my purse, and put it down in the middle.
With the toppings on?
With the toppings on.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I've done that. I've like brought a whole like a Quiznos sandwich. When we had a Quiznos here, like I did bring a Quiznos sandwich in.
Really? How do you like
pop-
Quiznos? I've never
popcorn?
tried them.
I mean, it lasted for a little while here, years ago. I really enjoyed it. I like their like freaking toasted BLT or some shit, and then they took that shit away. Like, I don't know why it went, and we have Subway now.
Because they
it's
have
nowhere
rats
near
as a
good
mascot.
Quiznos.
Excuse me. I know you like rats, but the
do
fucking
like
rats for the Quiznos commercial, I can't get over them.
I like
was just
rats.
like, I know
Rats are really clean.
how you do, but these rats, they looked like lab experiments gone wrong. They looked like they were stomped
Roids?
on.
Roided rats?
They're so gross. They are so gross. And they're advertising food, but like it was so iconic. I remember the song and everything. I'll share the commercial with y'all later. But like
Yeah.
Quiznos, I couldn't get over their mascots. Ugh, I would never.
But that's why you remember them. Viral marketing right
I
there.
remember them, but I never ate there either, so it didn't work.
Because you've never sniffed a rat before. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for you.
Listen,
There's a rat on the floor right
Show you
now.
right now, Mooney. Mooney, you don't understand. I'm going to show you right now because I
Okay.
feel like you don't
Send it my
understand what
way.
I'm going through.
Send it my way.
Quiznos rat commercial. That's what I'm searching for. Just you Google it. YouTube
All right, let me
Quiznos
Google
rat
it right now.
commercial and look at what I had to watch on TV and tell me
All right.
that's cute and you want to eat there.
Quiznos rat commercial.
These Quiznos subs.
Oh my god.
God to us.
Holy crap, what the hell? Who okayed
Yeah.
this? Who
Thank
said
you.
this was
A
okay?
psychopath.
Who said this was fine?
Jumping in my chair.
Who said that was okay?
They would sing this song.
They're not
They look
rats.
so
They're not
derpy.
rats.
They look like like what you would get like pre-taxidermy type. You're in science class or something, and you have
Post-taxidermy,
you
dog.
legally have to. What is it called? What do you call it when you cut into something? What is that called?
Dissection.
Dissect? Yeah. They look like a dissected. I can't. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't care if you're singing a song. I'm not eating there. Not happening.
I kind of like off topic, but also just because it's staring at me from my Steam library. How comes we've never, right, I've mentioned it before, but how comes we've never played Dead by Daylight together? I really enjoy that game. I don't play it often. I have just over 400 hours in the game. Why have we never played it together? I think I have also mentioned like doing a fun community thing before where like someone's the killer and like, you know, you have the 4 survivors and we just do like a private lobby because we don't have to play with, you know, randoms if we don't want to. It could be fun and it's a great game. Why do we never play it?
Because we're probably playing something else and or waiting for someone else to initiate it.
Why are we not playing Dead by Daylight? No, I've mentioned it before. Why are we not playing Dead by Daylight and fucking playing, I don't know, Nuclear Nightmare or some bullshit? Why does that win over Dead by Daylight? You know? Like...
I don't think I've ever played Nuclear Nightmare.
Oh, you don't need to, Mimi.
Is that the one in the snow?
I straight up feel like you played that game.
So.
Yeah.
Okay, no, I did eventually. I didn't in the beginning.
Yeah.
I didn't in the beginning. This reminds me of Allie and her crunchy mic. Throwback.
Throwback.
Nuclear Nightmare.
I
could not play. Yeah.
So much crunch.
That made me want to start a fund for Allie specifically. I was like, girl, let me help you. That crunch was unreal.
I think the first time I ever played Dead by Daylight, I had munched mushrooms.
Really?
And so I was losing my mind. Yeah.
I can imagine.
What?
Were you not terrified?
No, I mean, it was only a little bit, and we'd been for a walk, and we'd been outside, and things were chilling out a little bit, you know, and then my friend at the time, my good friend at the time, was like, okay, Mooney, I want you to try this game. Sat me down in front of his computer and like loaded up Dead by Daylight. I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, do the tutorial, get into it, run away. And I was just like, I couldn't believe it. I'm just there like running away from the killer. Like, oh my God, I can't take this. But it was like, it was so much fun. And that cemented the fun. And like, yeah, okay, maybe it could be considered friend swap, maybe it could, but damn, like the maps are great, the game looks fantastic, the killers are so much fun, like playing against Michael and he's just like there like staring at you like and charging up from like afar while you're like running away and you don't know he's there. Incredible. Which also actually, Mimi, I think I DM'd you this, but the new Halloween game that's coming out, I mean, that might fill your...
It might already be out.
You know, you were talking about the Friday... What was it? Friday the 13th game?
Yeah. Friday the 13th.
Yeah, and how you missed
Friday
it. Like, Halloween is that, girl. I don't know if you watched the trailer, but the Halloween game is that. Yeah.
I did. I don't necessarily like Halloween itself. It's just... I don't know, the way Friday the 13th was in comparison to Dead by Daylight. Friday the 13th had voice chat, and I am a voice whore, so I love
Halloween
talking
is
to
that.
people.
I'm not talking about Halloween is its own game.
A whole different game. Okay, yes. I'm sorry. I thought you meant
it's built under the same. No. It's built under the same premise where you're kind of like you have the 4 survivors, you have that killer, you're in the home, you have to barricade, you have to team up, you have to plan, you have to strategically try to get out, and Michael is stalking you. But you work
I'm 100% playing that game. 100%.
Yeah, bitch. I saw it and I thought you.
Yeah, I'm 100% trying it. But with DVD, I didn't have the same experience. Well, 1, I wasn't on shrooms, but 2, I don't know, I guess maybe because I came from Friday the 13th first, DVD was so different. It didn't have the voice chat, and I just kept dying over and over again because I'm a survivor main. I don't play as killer. And because I never took the chance, well, I have now, but in the beginning, I never took the time to play as the killer to see what it's like, the killer's perspective. I think playing both sides really helps you with whichever one you decide to main on or play the most. So as a killer, if a survivor is running around, you see their scratch marks or whatever, very visibly, and it's easy to find them. I had no idea about this. So when I first started, I would always be the first one to die, because whenever I hear my character's heart beating, like dun, 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 that means they're near, right? I assumed that meant they're near and they could see me. So I would bolt, and then they would catch me because they would just walk near and I'd start running. I had no idea. I wasn't thinking like a killer. Yeah. Now I understand that you can be stealthy and a killer might not see you because their perspective is different. But yeah, I don't enjoy when I can't hear or talk to my friends. So if I'm playing DBD, it has to be with my friends, and we have to be on Discord talking and whatever.
Absolutely,
because
I think
it's
that's
not
fun.
the same. It feels like a solo game. It reminds me of...
And that's why it's so different playing with randoms where you can't communicate. And playing with your friends is a whole different ball game. Because there's the excitement, and you can scream like, oh my god, the killer's over here, like, get me off the hook. Like, it definitely adds something to the game. I have to agree with you there.
So does this mean we're going to play Dead by Daylight?
I'm not against it at all. I will say in DBD, what I like about DBD is how they incorporate other horror franchises or just whatever it is, where like I didn't know anything. Like, Nurse, you were playing, I think, Resident Evil recently with like Leon Kennedy and stuff. I had no idea about that game, like, when you were playing it, but playing DBD, I know all about the police department, the PD map. So when I saw Leon Kennedy in certain areas, I was like, wow, I understand the layout of the map, because in DBD they do almost the same layout, which is incredible, insane. So I love how they incorporate other franchises.
Yeah,
it's very, very cool.
Silent Hill map. The Silent Hill map is sick on DBD. The Michael Myers map is sick on DBD. Like, there are so many cool crossovers, absolutely, and they're just fun. Like, the maps are really cool visually and well done and well decorated and very detailed, and it is a lot of fun. And I think if maybe you're playing with friends, and like even the killer is a friend, that can be fun, because there'll be more time for like just fucking around and having a laugh, you know. Whereas if you're just playing against like a random killer, it is very much just hunt you down and, you know, I don't know, hook camp or some bullshit just because they want to win. But, you know, taunting your friends and like playing with your food sounds so much more fun.
Yeah. I hate the silent killers in DBD. I gotta be honest. So I don't know how to like Halloween, because
and Michael.
Yeah. Oh, they're my least favorite to play with.
Jump scares.
Yeah.
Ooh. Dude, like Michael in the new Halloween game that's coming out looks so cool, because he has this ability to like phase. Like, as long as the I guess let's call them survivors. As long as the survivors don't see you and you're not within a certain proximity of them, you're able to phase. So, you know, like in the movies, for example, it's like, oh, Michael Myers is in this one place, and you might see him out the window, like looking at you from a bush, and then you fucking run into the kitchen and, like, I don't know, maybe, you know, pull the phone off the wall and you're trying to dial 911. There's no dial tone, and then all of a sudden Michael Myers is like fucking standing behind you, like you turn around. It's like like typical slasher movie setup. So in the game, he can phase. So as long as he's not seen, as long as he's not in proximity of the survivors, he can phase. So you'll actually never fucking know where he is. You might see him stalking you by a bush outside, and then you run around a house and to the other way, and like he could be anywhere after that. And I think that element of the game is going to be quite fantastic. And I'm not talking about DBD. I'm talking about the Halloween game.
Right.
I'm very excited to see what it's like. I don't think it's going to be in early access. I don't think it is.
But what if it is?
If it is, I mean, I don't think it is.
What
let's have
if
a look.
it is, though?
If it is, again, that just puts me in a position where I will decide. But I think it's not early access. It's just pre-order, pre-purchase. and you can, if you pre-order now, you can get it 4 days ahead of release. But I'm looking on Steam, there's no early access for it. It's coming this September. You can pre-purchase it. You can get the pre-purchase edition for £35, or you can get the Halloween Deluxe Edition pre-purchase for about £50. So it looks to be a fully fledged, finished AAA game that's like, okay, let's go. You know, there's no fucking around. And there are a few other cool horror games as well that are going to be coming out, whether this year or next year, that I'm really looking forward to. One of them being the new Hellraiser game. Have you guys heard about that?
Oh, you mentioned it briefly.
Yeah. Clive Barker's Hellraiser Revival. It's coming out on October the 8th, 2026. Another fully fledged horror game. And I think so far it seems to have quite good reviews. Like, people are feeling quite enthusiastic about it. And you girls know me, like, I am an absolute wuss when it comes to horror games, and I am really trying to, I guess, desensitize myself a little bit so that I can enjoy them, because I love horror as a concept. But yeah, Hellraiser game is coming out on the 8th of October, which I'm very excited to both play and watch footage of. I'm looking forward to the new Tomb Raider as well. Legacy of Atlantis, you know, which is basically a remaster of the first game. But I miss, like, I find myself going through my Steam library and just looking for good, thick, chunky, juicy games. You know, like a steak. Like, I want my steak brined in salt. What do they call it? Like dry brine or something? Wait, dry brine steak?
Petrified.
Yeah, I want my steak, my juicy steak, dry brined for like 24 hours beforehand in the fridge on a rack, so that when I come to searing it in the pan, I get a really nice sear, you know? And I want it, I want the salt to have been soaked up by the meat and the flesh, so that when it cooks through, you don't get the gray band, and then you cut into, and you let it rest for 10 minutes after you've like cooked it in the pan, and then you cut into it and the juices spill out, and you put it in your mouth, and it's like, damn, like, that's how I want my games.
So, okay. Wow, thank you for that. Thank you.
I'll have what she's having.
I'll have what she's having. Okay, so you're more of like a curator.
I want that steak like 1.5 inches thick, at least. At least. If you're trying to give me that steak less than 1 inch thick, I'm gonna send it back.
But if your steak is early access, it's still gonna be bloody and raw. I want my shit done. Well done, well, I want my games well done. We don't want medium rare.
I went out. No, I want it medium rare. I just want it dry brine and dry aged, bitch.
Done. Well
Dude,
done. I want it petrified. I want it like beef jerky.
I took myself out recently on a solo date, right? I went out for a steak. I'm not going to call out the restaurant. I don't want to. All right, no harm, guys. Restaurant, no harm. Well, I went out for a steak, and I got it was like a rib, half a rack of ribs and a steak combo. I was really excited. I was like, yeah.
Wait.
I'll have a steak.
Give us a clue. A clue to where you ate, though. Give us a clue. Don't say the whole thing, but give us a clue.
Why?
So we could guess.
Was it called Schmetter's?
I mean, come on, let's not do that. I think it's a waste of time.
Okay.
Maybe I'll tell you at the
end.
Just because, like, you're in the US, Yes, Mimi, it was. Thank you. Mimi doesn't waste time. Mimi does not waste time. Thank God. Okay, so I went there and I had a half rack of ribs and a steak, and I was like, yeah, cool, this will be great. Like, this will be okay. Like, it's not going to be the best steak. It's going to be okay. But when it came out, it's like the chef boiled it and then just seared it on some half-assed grill. Was just like boiled the steak and then just went tss, and then it was done. And then I cut into it, I ate it. No flavor. Oh no, No, it wasn't that it was undercooked. There was just no flavor. It was like a broiled steak. It was broiled, not even boiled. It was broiled. But they tried. And it didn't matter how much table salt I put on this steak. There was no way. Like, it was just so full of water. It wasn't going to be even able to fill up the seasoning. And like, no amount of dipping it in the TGA Fridays sauce was going to save me. And the waitress, usually I would complain about my food, but I was on a date with myself and I didn't want to embarrass myself in front of myself.
Oh.
Yeah. So I was kind of just like, do you know what? No, I'm going to leave it. I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to do anything. Everything's going to be fine. Okay. And, I left it. The waitress came around and she was like, is everything okay with your food? And I'm just like, like, it's shit. But yeah, no, everything's fine. Everything's fine. Yes, Zia, I will complain about food, but only under dire circumstances. Like, if I truly know 110,000% that I'm not going to eat the food put in front of me because it's just really bad, I will say something and I will just be like, I'm really sorry, but can I change my mind? You know, can I send this back? I'm not going to be a Karen and be like, this is unacceptable. I hate this. How could you serve me this? You know, and no. But yeah, anyway, what that did teach me, that steak experience taught me that I am the fucking bee's knees at cooking a steak. All right.
Pop off, queen.
And I could not wait to run home, dry brine my steak, sear that bitch like I've never seared a bitch before, let it rest, and cut into its juicy goodness. So that's how I want my games.
Wow. Well, bon appetit. God damn.
Bone apple teeth, bitch.
Bone apple teeth. Well, I could go on about Friend Slap, but I feel like
No, please finish your thing. We totally derailed. We cut the fuck in. We cut that steak in half and we put a bunch of mashed potato in there. But it was good.
Oh my god!
Please, let's finish this.
I mean, what else is there to talk about other than it's huge, it's massive, it's everywhere.
I think, you know, the other day you were talking about the content treadmill driven by streamers and weaponized FOMO. I want to hear about that.
Yes, the I am the problem, segment of what I'm talking about. All right, so basically, these developers, right? They absolutely capitalize on the fact that they get free promotion from streamers and influencers. They send out copies of their games for free to streamers and influencers to be like, oh my god, play this game. And then what happens is that these streamers and content creators make the video or stream it live, get their viewers to watch it, get their viewers laughing about it. Oh, like that looks hilarious, ha 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 ha. Make viral clips on it, silly clips with subtitles and wacky moments that either involve proximity chat or some kind of physics-based shenanigan. And then you can just watch the numbers of those games like skyrocket because, oh, your favorite streamer is playing this game. And being part of the problem, I remember that being a thing. It was just so easily accessible for me to find a game around like late 2025 and even now that was super cheap. I'm like, oh, hey, I could play this with my community. Cool. And these developers know this. Streamers also know this. You mentioned the content treadmill because I mentioned that the other day. And yeah, it's totally for content as well for these content creators. And I can attest to that, which is like, okay, well, I don't know what I'm going to stream this, there, or that day when I was streaming for like 100 days. And in my mind, I'm like, okay, I got a plan for Thursday. I got a plan for Friday. What am I going to do on that day? And if I were just to pick up Lethal Company and be like, I don't know what to play. Let me just play with people. Cool. Boom. There's a game that people can play together, like Crab Game or Peak or whatever. But speaking of Peak, this is why I haven't played those games because I'm fatigued. I just can't do it. I'm burned out.
I'm curious, seeing as I
Go
have
on.
you here and like questions, but like during that 100 days, right? How comes? I'm interested in your thought process, but why did you not think perhaps to choose a game that would actually last you the 100 days, or two games that would last you the 100 days? You know, I don't know, insert any role-playing game here, insert any massive game with hundreds of hours worth of gameplay. Why did you revert to sort of like, oh, I want to play games with the community over I want to commit to a game and see it through to the end and
Honestly,
share that experience?
honestly, multiple things. Probably number one, I wanted to have variety, and I couldn't at that time see myself committing to a single player game or a story driven game that I do now. Like now, recently, you've seen in my recent streams that I committed to Resident Evil, like the Resident Evil series that I played 0 and then 1 and then 2 but back
Because you knew there's an end to it, though.
exactly. But back then I wanted to play something for, I don't know, the variety's sake, for the spice, for the difference. And I was also another point seeking novelty as well, because I'm like, well, I feel like I am going to get really bored of this game, so let me just switch it up and try something new, and also showcase a new game. I wanted to do that as well. I know that you, Mooney, you showcase demos on your streams sometimes. And for me, those weren't demos, those were games. And I was being a streamer and a content creator and receiving like super chats and donations. I felt like, okay, let me just take all the support that I get and invest back into my channel with these new games that I could showcase to my community. Did I know I was going to be influencing people to buy games that they would never play again? I wasn't thinking about that. But now that I'm aware, I'm like, maybe I should be slightly more cautious in what I do and how I influence people in terms of like the gaming purchase. Yeah, go ahead. Absolutely.
I remember with these types of games during that time, there were times where you would not host games that would cost everyone too much. So I remember you pretty much only hosting or playing games that cost like, let's say $5 or less. A lot of them were free and didn't cost anything. Look at Crab Game. Yes, it's friend slop, but at the same time, it didn't cost anybody anything, and it was another way to have fun. It was another way to experience something different, something new. And a pro for me is that's how I found the channel, kind of. I mean, that's not how I found the channel, but that's how I came in and became a part of the community. It wasn't during a game that you play all the time. You know, it wasn't during Project Zomboid. I watched in the background, but I got to participate in another game like Lethal Company. And that's what got me personally into the community. So I think it is a way to kind of branch out to another audience to kind of bring them in as well. So I just see it as a form of potentially expanding your audience or your reach by playing other games, even if it's temporary, you know?
Yeah, I did get some new people from other different types of games that had, because like before I did that, I was mostly playing Project Zomboid, and I knew that at that point I could play Project Zomboid for the entirety of the 100 days, but I just felt like I either commit to this one thing for the entire time, and I was worried that it wouldn't be entertaining. I feel like I was worried that I was going to either run out of things to do, knowing at that time the build 41 endgame and just start a whole new run, or I would just end up doing a bunch of challenges that would burn me out. So there were many factors in that, but really good questions. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
I do kind of wonder, you were talking about content creators and whatnot.
Sure.
With Friend Slop, I wonder if what makes it popular are the people that play it. And I don't mean like your friends. I mean other live streamers and content creators. So like Offline TV.
Like Queso.
Or Queso, exactly. Like, would you have heard about half of these games if you didn't watch Queso play it before, or somebody react to this, or somebody play with their friends? That's how we find out about these games. So I kind of wonder if some of them have like a sort of secret deal where they're being paid to play some of these games in order to advertise it, to make people want it and like dive into this friend slop.
Yeah.
Like, I truly wonder,
I mean, of course.
It could be like sponsored without actually being sponsored type of content. Go ahead, Mooney.
Yeah, no, sorry, I had to jump in and say, like, absolutely. Like, it's not just games that's being done with, it's with everything, giving celebrities fucking, I don't know, handbags or trainers or something to wear. It's like, oh, if you wear this, like, you'll end up influencing other people. Like, it's just one of these, and it's the same thing with games, I believe.
100%.
I mean, yeah, these games are cheap. They're easy to not only develop for the developers, but they're just easy to access for people. I think one tidbit I wanted to throw in there was that there's no surprise that friend slap games are on the rise and will keep happening and will keep being developed in a post-pandemic world, because it is, in some places I've seen, it's a direct response to, number one, combating loneliness, and number two, a response to the other side of the gaming industry, where things are super high stakes. There's microtransactions, there's battle passes, there's all these other things that you need to either subscribe to long term or just either invest in and then realize it's garbage, versus these friend slap games that they're simple. There's no battle pass. There's nothing you have to pay more than one time, like a one-time fee. Sure, it'll collect dust in your library, but you know what you're getting at least. It's a game that you play with your friends online. But,
I don't want to say this for definite, but obviously I've been playing a lot of demos recently because I am always trying to look for something fun, engaging, that's maybe outside of my comfort zone without having to, pay for it off the bat. But like, it's like Mecha Chameleon, for example. Did they have a demo? Like, do friend slap games typically have demos for you to try it out, or are they just like, no, buy it up front?
Some of them do.
Sucks to be you. Yeah.
Like
so
Burgle and
Mecha
Gnomes.
Chameleon?
I don't think Mecha Chameleon has a demo, no.
I wonder why some developers.
I think they had a
decide
play
not
test though, like a sort of limited
Right.
play test before its official
Yeah.
launch, but it's already it's already ready, I would think.
Yeah, I wonder why they don't give. Like, I wonder why developers might choose not to have demos, because it is an amazing way.
Well, if
to
it's a tiny game,
experience
you
a
get to
game.
play the whole thing. Like, that one demo, quote
No, I mean,
unquote, that
10
we
minutes
played?
is fine. Yeah.
Who plays it? Okay, but listen. We played a game where we were on a mission to, like, we made a mistake, or we didn't make a mistake. Somebody died, and we had to move the body without being caught by other employees
Oh my
or
God,
the security
that
camera.
game.
We played the whole fucking game. Like, I don't need to buy it. After playing that demo, I already know exactly what it's going to be like, and I will
Yeah,
not
I
buy
hear
that
that.
game.
But it's an opportunity to experience the mechanics of a game. Because if you're playing, say, a shooter, for example, a friend slap game that has shooting mechanics. If I'm playing a game where I'm shooting things, like, if it falls short on that punch that you get from using firearms, I'm probably not going to play it because it's going to feel weak to me. I don't want to always just experience the vibe of a game. I want to feel the mechanics as well. Like, does this game feel sluggish? Does it feel snappy? Like, is the AI smart? Like, I want to know all of those things, and it's like, for example, I played Restory recently, the demo on stream, and then I made a video out of it, and now I'm just waiting for the full game, even though you could argue, like someone in my chat, I think it was in my comments, Phoenix had said, I've been playing this demo for a week. you know? And it's like, cool, if you were able to get a week's worth of gameplay out of a demo, that's awesome. You are going to get even more gameplay then when the game comes out fully fledged, and you have a relationship with that game because you enjoy the mechanics of it, you enjoy the world of it. I think even just having a 10-minute demo of a game, especially a friend swap game, is useful because you can catch a vibe. You just catch a vibe, you know?
Mm-mm.
Mimi, I know that you wanted to, I don't know if you still do, but you wanted to talk about subscriptions, like digital subscriptions and stuff. Is that something you still wanted to discuss, or
Yeah, I can.
for next time? Yeah, I want to hear
save
more.
it. It doesn't matter.
Girl, go
all right.
for it. Hell yeah.
Okay. So, all right, let me sit down for this.
Let's get your PowerPoint presentation out.
Let me sit down for this. I'm not fully fledged, and you know me, I'm a yapper, and I probably will go off track and not actually
Yap
finish a complete
segment.
thought, but we're gonna try anyway, okay? So I want you to take just a second and think about.
Close your eyes.
Yes, think about your physical media collection. You know, maybe you've got like I don't know, a shelf of like old CDs or records, or a stack of like softer hardcover books, or I don't know, fucking old video game cartridges, right? Like shit that you actually have to dust off.
Sure.
There was a time when we used to physically go to stores, we would hand over our cash, and then like that physical object was ours forever, you know, like nobody came to take it back, right? And now I want you to take a look at your digital library, like the apps on your phone, your PC, your console. My question is, do you actually own any of it? Any of your digital content? So Mooney kind of touched on this a little bit while she was talking. I feel like we don't really own anything that we have that's digital. Mooney Nurse, how do you guys feel?
Girl, no, you're right. I just subscribe to, let's say, for my editing software, you know, Adobe. If I stop paying, I don't own any programs. And I remember back in the day, you could buy a program and own it forever, or you pay a one-time fee and own it forever. And then you keep that license. But now you kind of just have to pay a monthly or annual fee at a discount rate. If you buy it annually, you save money on it. You know, you pay up front.
Which is exactly what I want to talk about, because I feel like this is a question that like we don't really ever ask until something goes wrong. You know, everything's fine until it's not. You know, like how many of you have ever how many of you really read the fine print when you sign up for something? You know, we don't always know what we're signing up for.
Yeah, scroll to the bottom.
We don't always know what we're getting or what we're covered. You know, we're just like, all right, we're supposed to do this. Let's click through and pay, and let's, you know, get going. And I just feel like we've transitioned from owning to renting now. You know, we don't own our houses, we're renting apartments, and we can just get kicked out at any point if you really think about it. And I don't like that. Like in some ways, yes, it can be helpful, but in a lot of ways, I just feel like it's unstable and unreliable at best. I feel like, again, everything is fine until it's not, you know, until something happens and then you're not prepared in any fucking way. For example, me getting kicked out of Discord because of two-factor, and I kept all my codes in my Discord. So Mimi Mango was not my first Discord account. Surprise. But, you know, it's just, I don't know, it feels like gambling with our trust in these companies and, you know, purchasing these softwares or games or whatever. And, you know, the house always wins, right? So I just wonder why, you know, tech and software companies are kind of abandoning just this practice of selling us physical products. Yes, we can still get them. There's still records out there. There's still DVDs and cassettes and physical copies of some things, but that's novelty at this point. It's a collectible. It's not really something that we're always using. But I don't know. I don't know. If we take a look at Nurse, you mentioned Adobe. If we take a look at Adobe, for example, like I feel like that kind of sums up the whole digital shift that we're in, because like if you're doing any sort of creative work like I don't know, like 2010, 2012, whatever, you most likely will remember like how you got your hands on the physical copy of the Adobe software. Or if you're younger, maybe think games like The Sims, right? You bought it in a physical box. It came in a CD or a DVD of some kind. You paid a pretty like hefty fee up front. And like, just for context, they have Adobe Creative Suite, which has almost like every Adobe software, like Photoshop, Illustrator, Premiere, whatever, etc. You know, and that, I don't know how much it would cost, but let's just say it costs you like $1,000 or $3,000, right? $1,000 to $3,000. With The Sims, like a base game would probably be anywhere from $40 to $60, and then they have like their extensions. Is that what they were called, Mooney?
Expansion packs.
Expansion packs.
They have
Thank
stuff
you.
packs, expansion packs, and game packs.
And a lot of that would kind of cost about the same as the game, but you own it and you get a physical copy of it, you know? So like Mooney kind of asked, how does a company even sort of sustain itself in the months between those releases? Or if they're giving you free DLC forever, like how are they making money, you know, when nobody's buying anymore, right? Most of them struggled with it. So sales would spike whenever like a new version dropped, right? They'd make a lot of money and then it start to tank within the year. And so they'd need something new to whatever. But so with Adobe, I think like a kind of recession happened, and then they had like no recurring revenue and they had to kind of cushion that blow, and a lot of their sales dropped for multiple reasons. Because they were charging so much, there was like this whole piracy thing where like imagine being a student, or you know, you work somewhere and you need this software, this tool, and it's literally essential for your work or school, right? But it costs you $25 you know what I mean? You're gonna go find a cracked version of it online, or you know, I don't know, sometimes they have like a student copy now, but like I don't really think there was a student version of shit back in the day. Maybe, I don't know. But all of this stuff like piracy, like the recession, all this shit led to like a drop in sales, and companies like Adobe, they were forced to lay off like a lot of their employees. And so they're facing all this shit at once, and this is kind of when they basically announced that they announced to everybody, like their whole user base, right? That's what you call it, that their creative suite, was it 5 or 6 or something, was going to be their last boxed version ever, right? And so they transitioned from Creative Suite to Creative Cloud. And so this is like a massive shock at the time, I think, to a lot of people, because instead of like a physical box, you have a paid virtual digital subscription, and it's like $50 a month for everything, or like, I don't know, like $20 for a single application. I think that's about how much it is now. Actually, it might be closer to like $80 now. But, you know, I mean, I see the appeal from like a business standpoint, obviously, but when you look at the math from a consumer perspective, if I'm like a professional designer, graphic designer, I'm paying $50 a month for 10 years. That's like $6,000, which is so much more than just buying a lifetime copy. And now you no longer have that option. Like, you cannot own a lifetime copy of any Adobe product. So like, you know, why did we accept this? Like, doesn't it put us, I feel like, you know, like insert a gif of like a hamster on a wheel, you know, and that's you're on like this little permanent payment hamster wheel that you could just never stop paying. Like, doesn't that piss you off? It's upsetting, it's angering, it's depressing. It's like, do we really own anything? Everything is a subscription, and we're actually paying more per month. Like, if you add everything up, if you have your entertainment, let's say Netflix, Hulu, even YouTube is charging us now to remove commercials, you know, Amazon Prime, your Adobe, your I don't know, Steam doesn't really charge us a monthly fee, but like, let's imagine EA app or Xbox or some kind of thing, you know how EA used to have Origin, and they would have like a subscription fee, and you can get a bunch of games, but it's like, just like you said, Nurse, when you stop paying, you no longer own it, right?
Yeah, of course.
And like, yes, it lowers the barrier to entry, but it just feels like we're renting to own, except we never actually own it. We will never own it. We just keep renting and renting and renting, like what's the word? Perpetuity?
Yeah. I have a question.
And
So out of the things that you've mentioned or have yet to mention, what would be worth owning? All of it? Some of it?
some of it. I think a rent to own sort of situation would be great. Where there is a chance where you can eventually own it if you can't afford to buy it outright. Why doesn't rent to own exist anymore in a lot of this software? Because they know like they can't, the businesses, the companies, they can't make money like that if you own something. So they're literally they're robbing us of the chance to own anything ever. And let
me think about this, because like I'm thinking about the whole it's a service model, right? I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, okay, well, you're paying a subscription for months and months and months and years and years and years, and with that they are supposed to continuously give you updates, right? That's how it's worth it, right? Because I pay for Adobe for everything, for like my editing and my thumbnails and all that stuff and all that software. And if there is a new yearly version that gets updated to it, like 2024, 2025, 2026, it would be fantastic to pay a lifetime license and also get free updates. So
yes,
yeah, I would, I don't know, just food for thought there.
Yeah. But put yourself in the shoes of, like, imagine if you already had a version of Adobe, like 1 through 5 or 6 or whatever it was. You had a physical copy. You already had a lifetime version of it. And now it's no longer, you can't use it anymore. Like, even with Windows, I think a lot of us had Windows, maybe, was it 7 or 9 or something like that? And then Windows or Microsoft wanted us to upgrade to 11. Well, my grandmother, she's 90 something years young, and she is not very computer literate. Smartphones are too smart for her. So I didn't want to upgrade the Windows on her PC, but every time we kept getting pop-ups, upgrade for free, upgrade now before you can't, right? And I would continually hit no, I don't want to update, because I don't want to change something so drastically for someone who will not grasp it, just most likely will not grasp how to use it. I don't want to change. Some people don't like change, right? So I wanted it to stay, like, let's just say it was Windows 7. I don't remember what it was, but let's say it was Windows 7. And this is what my grandma barely knows. So let's keep it, right? I kept canceling it. And then one day, I don't know what the fuck happened. And like, I'm so annoyed with Microsoft on so many ways, so many levels. Should be, for legal purposes, say Schmicrosoft. Anyway, I'm upset with them because what happened with the PC was when they upgraded to like Windows 10 or 11 or whatever, they eventually stopped asking, and then they all of a sudden like blocked access to the computer or to the software in the computer. And they were like, your version of Windows is invalid or something like that. You need to prove it with your Windows key. Where the fuck? We had this computer for how many years? Where the fuck am I going to find my Windows key? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So we had to then upgrade to Windows 11 because of that. And I thought that was really freaking weird. That's one thing. Let me continue. I'm gonna trail off into why I'm upset with Schmeikerschmoft, because there's so many things that they have kind of fucked up a little bit or just forced onto us. I don't know the exact order, so I'm just gonna list things that I'm remembering off the top of my head. There was a time when Microsoft, I guess, took ownership of Mojang, which was Minecraft. We talked about Minecraft earlier. Mojang, you'd have to have a Mojang account in order to get into your Minecraft, right? Online. And they ended up doing like a forced migration or something where the Mojang no longer would work, so you had to make like an Xbox or Microsoft fucking account. I remember that being really difficult for me for some reason. I did eventually get to do it, but that was really annoying to me. That's one thing. Then there was Microsoft, who bought out this streaming service. They bought this streaming service that used to be called Beam. It was a live streaming service, and they switched the name to Mixer. And then it was this huge thing. A lot of people from like Twitch left Twitch to go exclusively to Mixer. A lot of partnered streamers, they had like deals, like good for them. They had like $1 million deals. Like Ninja is one of the ones that stick out to me the most. And he moved over to the Mixer platform, and I don't remember what happened, but something happened, and then Microsoft was like, psych, Mixer is no more. Like, good luck figuring out what you're gonna do now. But because some people like Ninja had a contract, he was still paid out for shit that he didn't have to do. Like, he probably worked for like 3 months and got paid a year's salary for like a millionaire. I'm so jealous. But for everyone else who isn't Ninja, they suddenly don't have this platform anymore that they can use. Now they're going on Facebook Live, and some people going back to Twitch and whatever. But I remember that was like a thing. That was Microsoft. There was something else. There's a couple other things that Microsoft kind of was involved with that I just personally didn't have a great experience with it. Yeah. Oh, I'm reading chat.
No worries.
But yeah, I just I don't know. I have a very large digital library, which I enjoy. I'm so glad that I have access to so much, but at the same time, I'm not blind to the fact that I could lose it in a second, in the blink of an eye, in a heartbeat. If somebody, if I fall for a Discord scam where they're telling me they're Steam employees, right? Like, you could lose all your shit, and again, when you don't read the fine print, in a lot of the fine print, they say shit like, we can cancel your account for any reason at any time, and like, you can't sue us or something like that. You're gonna pay us your money, and you're gonna rent this stuff. You're gonna pay for it. You're gonna buy these games. You're gonna pay for these games full out, but you don't have a physical version of it. So if anything happens to your Steam account, SOL. Yeah, I would never fall for a Discord scam ever, actually. So there's nothing to worry about there. But I would never.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't like the sort of fleeting, just the fact that anything could happen to our account and then we're SOL, or anything could happen to like anything. If you get hacked, you get scammed, you get banned. All of these things can completely remove all of the tools, all of the software, all of your, like, I don't know, let's say you're paying a digital service for your photos. You're not taking physical photos, you're taking digital photos. These are your memories. These are things that you're tied to. And if you don't have a backup, if you're not in the cloud or whatever, like, you can lose all of your memories that you were trying to save that are precious to you. Like, this is how I think of
I
a
feel
digital
depressed.
library.
Damn, that was, you're right.
I'm listening, and it's like it's a way of life. You don't have to opt into these things. Like, you can find ways, not with everything, but you can find ways to opt out. Finding services that you can pay one off for. Like, sure, if you keep all of your photos and your videos and stuff, somewhere in a cloud, print them, make a photo album. Like, take the videos, put them on a disc, make a home video. Like, we are so easy, we're able to access things and store things now so easily that we forget that there are still analog ways of dealing with things. Like, you can go into thrift stores now and charity shops. You could build up a whole DVD or Blu-ray collection if you wanted to. Like, Obsession, for example, like you and I, Mimi, have digital copies, but like it's still going to be released in Blu-ray. There is still ways to retain an analog library of things, even games, if you want to, so.
Exactly. So this is kind of like a PSA of, reminding you that there are still ways you can still get physical copies of some things. And it's something to think about. But when I think about how easy it is to just go the digital route, sometimes that kind of pisses me off, especially when they play with your money. They're playing with your wallet sometimes. And even if we're talking about early access or friend swap games, sometimes you're paying more for less. You're paying more for shit that you will never own.
Yep.
Like, something as simple as a subscription to, I understand that if you're subscribing to something because you want to support something, more power to you. I think that's great. But if you're subscribing to something because you want to keep it, like, that doesn't really make sense. So I do wish there were more like rent to own models in a lot of this stuff. But I understand with the greed of a lot of these companies, they're not going to want to allow that. So yes, with media like music and film, it's going to be a lot easier for you to get a physical copy than a lot of these games.
Yeah.
Bro, I hate when you download an app and to use like 80% of the app, you have to pay a subscription fee.
Yeah. It'd be like that.
She
It'd be
says,
like that.
piracy is ethical if monopolies are legal. I mean,
Expand
what
on
do people
that.
think about ethical piracy?
Expand on that. Let's think about that.
I remember seeing a social media post from an indie game developer. I think they were an indie. They were a game developer, whether or not they were indie. I remember them saying they would actually rather you pirate their game. If you're someone who never had intentions of buying their game, they would rather you pirate it and like advertise it, advertise that it's a cool game or whatever if you like it, as opposed to going to places where you're buying keys for cheap. I don't think it's necessarily like sites exactly like Humble Bundle, but something along those lines where you're buying game keys for cheap, because the way those people are getting, they're pirating the games typically and then putting a price on it. They're literally taking money away from a lot of the game developers. So a lot of them, if you're going to pirate it, they would rather you go ahead and pirate it as long as you kind of advertise it and we still get something out of it,
Yeah.
I see in chat they're saying, if we don't own video games, piracy isn't stealing.
I like that. Piracy isn't stealing if buying isn't owning. That's very interesting. I don't know that I believe that per se, but I like it. I like the sound of it.
Oh my goodness. I like this. But I don't like subscriptions, but yeah.
Yeah, because if you think about it, right? Like, you buy any sort of physical copy of something now, it's still going to be there 20 years from now, as long as you don't break the CD or DVD or whatever, right?
Yeah.
It will still be there and you could still use it. Although there's a lot of physical copy games now that also have an online subscription. So like, let's say you have you have WoW on a CD. Like, in order to get online, you still have to pay a subscription fee. So the CD is kind of rendered useless. As an example, I don't know if WoW comes on a CD, but if it did, like, there are games like that where there is an additional, like you were saying, Nurse, how you could you can have an app, you could pay for the app, and then there's still a subscription fee on top of it.
Or an actual item. Like if you buy like a smart watch for your fitness, you know, you buy.
And it doesn't work without. Oh my God.
Yeah.
No. That pisses me off. It really does.
Exactly.
It's annoying, but I get it, but it's annoying.
Subscriptions feel better, I think, when like they're in support of somebody, you know, like I, you know, like I support my creators, and but like when it's like a mega corporation, you know, that's when you get into icky territory.
So yeah, they're monopolizing a certain kind of business and like a corner of a business, and I think that's the ones that monopolize are the ones that are the most upsetting, because typically you can't get anything. Like if they own a software that is an industry standard, then you're SOL. Like you have to buy or rent or find or pirate it. You know, like if you need to use it, you're gonna have to like cough up money somehow, some way. Which is why I appreciate software that is always free, like OBS. OBS Classic or Blender. If anyone is a 3D designer, Blender is, you know,
DaVinci Resolve.
Kind of considered like DaVinci Resolve, exactly. So I love that there are for a lot of versions of things that will most likely always be free, and those I would much rather donate to than like co-sign or subscribe and dump money into a monopolized company that doesn't actually care about me as an individual user. So
well,
put your money where your mouth is.
Thank you for sharing, Mimi. Is that
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah, I think so. I don't know. What final thoughts? I guess if true ownership of your media matters to you, then yeah, this just might change how you think about it or approach your purchases.
of course. I know. Food for thought. This has been nice. I like it a lot. I like how we've been engaging with chat every so often. We could always open up the floor for questions or comments. What do you guys feel? How are you guys feeling? I mean, we also have other general topics we could discuss, but I feel like we've just been riffing off naturally, you know?
Yeah, I'll ask my question. My sort of question of the day is, what are you currently subscribed to? If anyone's interested in sharing that, like Netflix, Spotify, Adobe, what kind of subscriptions do you actually have at the moment?
Oof, I actually did some budgeting recently and had to cancel some subscriptions, but yeah, let me take a look. That's a good question.
What about you, Mooney? Are you subscribed to anything right now?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, of course. Yeah. In terms of where I watch my like entertainment, I only really subscribe to one thing at a time. You know, like for example, I'm not subscribed to Netflix, but I am to Amazon Prime because I use that a lot. So I just take advantage of whatever's on Prime, you know, and I do have things that I've bought on Prime that I'll tend to rewatch as well. So I try to make the most out of my subscriptions while I have them. And I also try not to duplicate or stack. So if I have one type of subscription, I typically won't have another of its kind, if that
so
makes
like
sense.
one video streaming, one music, one gaming.
Yeah,
for example.
exactly. Yes. Once I'm done with one, and I've used that, and I think maybe I have no use for it any longer, I'll move to something else. Like, I have a Canva subscription. I use Canva for like a lot. It's not just for graphic elements, but you know, they have videos, they have stock footage, they have, you know, I can make my shorts captions with it if there's anything that I maybe, you know, need in terms of assets wise to complement whatever I do in Photoshop. Then I have things like that, you know. I have so I have Canva. What else is it? I have a Soundtrap one, which is what I use to make my music. I have there was another one that I wanted to mention that I can't think of off the top of my head. So yeah, I have a lot of things that I use for, you know, my channel, graphics, music, and then watching stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I typically just try to keep it to a minimum. Every now and then I'll pay for Netflix if there's anything specifically on it that I want to watch.
Sounds about right. Depending on like what you're doing.
Yeah.
I have, I believe, currently a budget of $200 a month on subscriptions. Obviously not on one thing, but multiple things. Mostly content creation and streaming and related things like that. Like I have a subscription to Adobe. And my music subscription as well. My Google Drive, my Google One. And
your game servers.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, and my game servers like 7 Days to Die. And what else? Other things than that, like the gym, internet. Yeah, I used to have Discord Nitro, but I was like, I don't know. So I just cut that shit out. Yeah, I was like, ain't no way. But yeah, like I had to do some housekeeping and cut some things off. So
same. I saw some people said that they've ditched Netflix, and that was something I considered multiple times. Because there's this thing that, well, okay, there's a couple things. One, recently there was like a documentary on a celebrity who passed away that I felt like was very kind of one-sided and trying to make this person look like a villain, even though they're no longer alive, to speak for themselves. I thought that was really weird. And they were like piggybacking off of a recent box office film for them, for this said celebrity, and it had like good positive reviews. So I thought, like, I just thought it was distasteful, especially to talk about things that they were legally like acquitted of, if that's the right word. I'm not sure. But another thing that I am starting not to like Netflix for, I don't know if anybody has this issue where if you have a Netflix account and multiple people use it in the household and you're traveling, Netflix and some other software will like temporarily block you or require you to verify somehow as the main account holder and stuff. It really pissed me off. I got locked out of my Netflix when I was traveling on the cruise, and I didn't want to switch it or anything because people at home are still watching. And it's like, it's one account. I am still part of the household. I'm just traveling. And I think that's really weird and frustrating that, digital subscriptions can just limit you like that. I don't want to pay extra for me just leaving for a week. Do you know? I think that's really weird. I don't know why they do that. But yeah, I would start to cancel for things, especially if I started getting ads. Amazon Prime, I'm honestly thinking of canceling. I pay for a year. It's not a lot at all, but I don't want to be huge into consumerism, and I don't want to feel like I need to buy in order to justify how much I'm spending for
Honestly.
my membership. And also Amazon Prime. Like if I want to leave Netflix and I want to go to Amazon Prime Video, I have to pay extra on top of my membership. I have to pay an extra subscription in order to remove commercials now. And I'm just like, why do you hate me? I am allergic to commercials. I don't like them. I pay YouTube because I don't like commercials. Like, please.
Oh my God. Remember what? Remember the days of like when you didn't have to do that? When you didn't have to like.
I remember.
Oh my God. That's just how it goes. Underconsumption for the win.
It's very annoying. It's very annoying. I think I understand why they're doing shit like that because I'm assuming they're trying to discourage like password sharing and stuff, which is notorious. I've definitely done it. Thanks, bestie. Like, you know what I mean? We would share accounts 100%. But and I'm sure they're losing revenue from that. So they're like tightening things up, but it's affecting people who should not be affected by it, you know? Like me.
This conversation has made me think about my subscriptions, and I might need to do some more housekeeping. Might have to like cut some things.
Yeah.
I'm just like, damn.
I just got charged for Spotify. Spotify keeps upping their prices, and
God,
Spotify
bro.
has no loyalty to their, Spotify, you know, because we don't.
yeah.
Spotify, they have no loyalty to their customers, which is why I loudly and proudly create a new account anytime they have promos for new accounts. Like, do you know how many times Spotify has offered a like 3-month membership for the price of one, or like $1 a month, something like that? And they're like, oh, only new members only. But they have never done anything for loyal, consistently paying customers. I don't remember a single thing that Spotify has done for a loyal customer. So it's like,
what about
well, if you're not
the
loyal to
yearly
me,
wrap,
why do I need to
Mimi?
be loyal to you? Bitch,
But what about the
you
yearly
get that
wrap?
even if you have a free account. That is not a
I
paid
know.
thing.
Oh
No.
my God.
I'm sorry I called you a bitch, but
No, I know.
Listen.
I was just playing. I was playing devil's advocate.
how many times? This is what I would do. This is what I do, chat. Look, I'm gonna tell y'all. I am someone who's a fan of cutting the cord. I want to be away from these things, but I also understand that I have an addictive personality. I'm addicted to the internet. Hi, MTV. MTV True Life, I'm addicted to the internet, okay? I'm chronically online. I understand this. But because of that, I have benefits of finding shortcuts, and I take them. I'm a cord cutter. I'm a shortcut taker, and I will gladly tell you if you don't already know this. With Spotify, I would I would cancel my premium, right? And then I would create a new account. So I get 3 months for like $1, okay? And then I would just follow my old account and copy and paste my old playlists to my new account. That's what I would do every time, because again, they never, not one time that I remember, that I've been an active member for years. And now, like, I just pay, I have a family account now, so I'm not like doing that anymore. I'm paying for my mom to have her stuff, or my grandma when she's, in a hospital or something, where they can listen to music or audiobooks, whatever. So that's one thing that I do. I create a new account. I have no loyalty, none whatsoever. You're still getting my money somehow. Do you know what I mean? Otherwise, it's like, I don't use your service, or I go somewhere else to your competition. And then, so I'm sure they're fine with it. Anyway, another one, oh gosh, I was gonna say another one, but another one. It's escaped me. But if you guys do any shortcuts, feel free to share. God, what was my other big shortcut that I was gonna tell y'all? Oh, right. Threatening to cancel or move to
Ooh,
a
call 'em up.
competition. Gets you discounts all the time. Like one day I have a food service. Hi. I don't know if you guys heard of like Factor 99 or
HelloFresh.
Blue Apron, HelloFresh. Cook Unity, right? So
Not
I
sponsored, by the way.
subscribe
Not
to-
sponsored yet.
Hashtag not sponsored. I am currently with that plan because as a single person taking care of 2 other people, I don't always have time for some things. So it's the perfect subscription service, not sponsored, to have a little bit of break, to be able to have like restaurant quality chef made meals without having to like go out, without having to spend a whole bunch of money, to have it delivered directly to you. All you have to do is pop it in the oven or the microwave and like you're good to go, right? So perfect for me. I like it. I love it. It's affordable, but they kept increasing their price. So when I first joined, I was probably paying like $60 a month for like 6 meals. That's $10. Was it? I would pay $60 a week for 6 meals. So that's $10 a meal. Then it increased to 70. Now it's 80. Now it's actually almost $100. So for the same shit that I was getting for 60, I'm paying $100. It's still way more affordable than if I were to DoorDash food every day.
I was just gonna say.
It's still way more affordable. So like not mad at it, but at the same time, I got used to the cheaper prices, right? So what did I do? I called them up. I didn't call them because everything's digital. Everything's a fucking AI bot now. But anyway, let's just pretend. I called them up and I'm just like, hey, I'm gonna leave. And they were like, wait a second, are you sure? Are you sure? What if we give you like a coupon or something? I'm like, no, I'm gonna leave. And they're like, okay. What if we give you for the next 4 weeks, you are paying 50% off, right? You get 50% off. So instead of $100, I'm paying $50 now. It's even cheaper than when I first joined for 4 months. I was like, okay, I'll stay. So for like a whole, I don't remember how long it was. Like, let's say 4 weeks. I don't think it was 4 months. Let's say a month or two, I paid 50% of what I was normally paying. So it was just a huge financial benefit. I really appreciated it, and it tasted delicious. It was delicious.
You know, while you were saying this, I was like, damn. What if the things we say on the podcast prevent us from getting sponsored by the very companies?
No, we're gonna go private.
Oh yeah, of course,
Yeah. No, we're gonna edit this, and we're gonna cut out all of the little we're gonna color out all the little pepper. We're gonna de-spice it, okay? We're gonna be
sure.
the watery steak that Mooney had once.
Oh yeah, of course.
You know, because allegedly, listen, we didn't name names, okay?
Yeah, exactly. We didn't name names.
Schmidays. Spodafo.
Cook Spoonity.
Yeah.
Factor 47.
Amazon Slime.
Yeah.
Cramazon Blime.
Betblix.
Micro Slop. Oh, that's beautiful. That's gold star.
Listen,
gold
this is a pilot, okay? Like we're experimenting, we're doing this. I'm really happy that we did this.
Yes.
But we've been streaming, we've been live, we've
been at it for a
yapping
minute.
for about like 2 hours and 40 minutes. So like, if there's anything else you guys want to talk about or say, we can. Otherwise, I feel like this has been pretty good.
I think so as well.
Chimkin.
All right, Chimkin.
Lonely
it is.
Chimkin.
Yeah, lonely raw chimkin. Lonely raw reduced chimkin in the canned goods aisle.
She's used all her brain power.
I've also noticed everything that we've dropped on the ground. Look how many steaks, dead rats, pork chops, potato tots we have here. We have a whole feast. Thank you, Mooney.
Let me grab some of this.
You're
Are those onion rings in the chair? What is this?
I don't think I need this.
Yeah. I also got some chocolate bars and some cans of cola over here.
I've contributed a broom and a rubber ducky.
Oh my fucking god. Oh my fucking god.
I just
So how do we
Considering-
feel about today's pilot? You know, just how do we feel about it, ladies?
I enjoyed it. It went a lot smoother. I was a little bit nervous. I was nervous, gulping a little bit before we started.
Speak on that.
Yeah, you know, because I am not really someone who presents stuff. I'm more of like a improvisation type of person. So yeah, that part made me a little bit nervous, but I think, you know, moving forward, I'm just going to have an idea and improvise that bitch. I don't want to plan. I don't want to research. I just want to lie to everyone and see if they believe it. Cult type shit, you know? Hashtag not a cult.
Everything you said was false and fabricated?
No, next time.
Oh, okay.
next time.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I enjoyed it. I knew that today was going to be fine, like, because this is what we do anyways, like in the behind the scenes on Discord. We just have Yap Fest and we talk and, you know, we ask each other about our days and then we, you know, sing Kumbaya. Just kidding, no. But this is what we do. And I think that was the whole point of making this happen, right? Finally, every single time we're in a VC call, I'm like, oh my God, after we just talked for 45 minutes, oh, we should have made this into a podcast. Oh, that would have been, like, I don't remember the things that we've discussed, but I know we've discussed them. And I wish that it was archived somewhere. So I guess that's the purpose of this. Yeah. And, yeah, I'm happy this is finally happening.
Real quick.
I know. Look at you, girl. I see that nose ring. What the hell? All black fit. What's with the shoes, though? What's going on?
Listen, I didn't have a lot of options, okay?
Okay.
I'm going to get some stompers.
I'm already on my way out in a van, so bye.
Dang, yeah, I know.
Bitches.
Listen, as
she
the nurse
left
was talking, I didn't realize I had your stream up, Mooney, and so I kept hearing like fighting and shots and glass breaking and shit, and I'm like, what am I hearing? And I realized I still had your thing up. I was like, oh my God. She left.
I cannot stay in one place.
She straight up left. Where is she?
Cannot stay in one place. What can I say?
She went on a whole ass adventure. But
so when are we playing DVD, girls?
I know. Anthony says, is Nurse still doing game stream today or after this or nah? I mean, who knows what Nurse is doing?
I'll post an announcement.
But that's probably
you'll know when she knows.
Yeah, you'll know when I know. Oh!
Ooh. A rock.
Of all of the space. Anyways, yeah, in conclusion, I liked it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Well, I will say that I will be streaming tomorrow and Saturday. We're going to do a double whammy Red Dead. So we're going to do Red Dead Friday and we're going to do Red Dead on Saturday.
Yeah, so feel free to plug in your info.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I linked our channels in the description, so...
Yes, please subscribe to Nurse, Mooney, and Mimi if you haven't already. And also side chat.
Yeah,
so you'll never know when you see us again. It's super exciting.
When will be the next side chat? Who knows?
You'll know when we know.
You'll know when we know.
You'll know when we know. But I've really enjoyed it, ladies. Thank you so much for everything.
Of course.
I enjoyed your insights and the chatter. I don't think this is typically how we are offline, but that's the idea. Side chat is supposed to be kind of just how we hang out, us girls, when we are not performing, you know. But we came a little bit prepared today and just kind of like had a little combo and debate.
Yeah, next time I'm gonna bring in some like absolutely horrible rancid takes. So.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Unpopular opinions, hot takes.
Yeah.
Hot take, hot seat.
Yeah.
With Nurse Mimi and Mooney. Destruction edition. We will beat fucking roller derby car derby at the same time. Let's be in here. We each get a car and we just start destroying shit until what is that called? Where you're in a car and you destroy it.
Monster truck rallies. I can't speak.
Not
monster truck
trucks,
rallies.
But like demo derby, demolition derby.
Ah,
Yes.
yes, there it is.
Demo
Yeah.
derby. We each get a car and just see who survives, whose car survives. That'll be fun.
Funny.
One day. All right.
One
And
to
sign
jerk.
off.
Yeah.
Don't forget
thank you
about
for-
us, y'all.
Thank you for listening to
One's
our
in chat if you enjoyed it.
podcast.
One's in the chat. Take care. Bye bye. Thank you, Mooney. Thank you, Mimi.
Thank you, nurse.
Nurse is ready to
Bye.
go. Goodbye, everyone. Take care.
Yeah, she hates us.
Look after
Yeah.
yourself. I know.
Can't stand
Look
these
after
bitches, I swear to God.
yourselves. Subscribe.
Stay
We don't have
cool.
any plans when the next one will be. It took a while to get to this point, but we'll keep you posted. Check the updates in Nurse's Discord for any upcoming announcements, and I think there's going to be some changes made, but we shall see.
Oh, for sure.
And
for
yeah,
sure.
take care of yourselves.
Bye bye.
See you later.
Bye.
Take care.
Sending cool thoughts to all the hotties out there.
Hell yeah.